Hello everyone, and welcome back to another day of Gloomhaven. This will be day 2 on our campaign, hopefully a little bit more successful than day 1. Although, again, as I've said a number of times now, I don't really mind getting pummeled. It's good to lose. I mean, it's never really necessarily fun to lose, but if you can't lose, then winning, well, at least to me, is kind of meaningless. So, I'm certainly happy. I don't really mind to have lost a bit yesterday, but obviously I would prefer to do a bit better today. Alright, let's see. To put all these things back. So the first thing I'm going to do is my city event. The reason for this is, well, there's a couple of reasons. So we need to do some purchasing. We got 9 gold there, 15 gold here, and 24 gold here. So no matter what, we'll be purchasing something at the very least on the Brute. But I'd rather see if I can get 1 reputation for a discount, or if I get 1 prosperity, I get prosperity 2 already. So then we can, sorry, just got distracted by my throat. It's pretty rough shape today. So then we would have different options for what items to buy. I don't know how much I'll be able to talk today. It may end up being a shorter day. We'll see. Just because I really took a beating talking straight for 8 hours yesterday. I drink tons of water too, but only so much you can do. Okay, so let's just quickly get into that. I'm just going to switch the screen while I do the city event. I'm just going to do the city event, not the road event, because I'm hoping that I'll do stuff after. Okay. So let's see here. No. Less than, no. Okay. Easy enough. Well, that's fine. It's not really what we were looking for, but it's still fine. I mean, it's not bad, at least. And not bad is pretty good in Gloomhaven. Alright, so we gained 5 gold each. Would have rathered a reputation. I really would have preferred a prosperity, because then we would have gotten level 2. But still, 5 gold each is 5 gold each. Can't complain, right? Okay, so first things first, on Zabrut, we're probably going to buy the Iron Helmet. I don't think there's really any reason not to buy the Iron Helmet. There's one helmet that we could get in a little bit that might be better for the Brute than the Iron Helmet. Probably is better for the Brute than the Iron Helmet typically, but I don't remember how early I actually get that. So accordingly, I kind of like buying this. Doesn't, I mean, all right, yeah, it's much better when you can, buy it for free because it only costs 5 gold, but still, even as is for now, it's a decent deal. At worst case scenario, it ends up costing us 5 gold, which isn't the absolute end of the world. We definitely do want to get hide armor at some point, but we really need to get a level first, or 3 check marks, which we're pretty far from, so that we can get the ignore negative item effects and add 1+1 card perk, which will definitely be our first perk, so that we can start wearing hide armor. When we do that, the heater shield will be more tempting for us as well, because then we'll have multiple reasons to do a long rest, whereas just with one reason to a long, I mean, if we just buy the heater shield now, we get a lot less from the long rest. We just gain 1 extra shield rather than theoretically gaining 3 extra shield per long rest. So for that reason, I think I prefer just to buy the iron helmet now, and then hang on the rest of my gold to buy, oh, the cat claws. Oh, all right, hold on. Give me 1 second. Sorry about this. My cat had decided to post up on my lap just as I was about to start streaming, and now she's decided that she wants to go out of the room. I have to close the door while streaming because this way I don't bother my fiance. All right. And of course, when she got up, it was with all the claws. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's really the choice between these two. Theoretically, there is the kind of like the Warhammer build for the Brutes. It would still require 1 more gold though, since we don't have -1 discount. So the Warhammer build for the Brute is to combine this with something like Trample. Um, well, specifically with Trample. So this gives you a very, very powerful loss action that you can do once per scenario with this, because Trample attacks everything. So Warhammer plus Trample allows you to not only attack everything, but stun everything. I think this is certainly, I mean, it's a reasonable strategy, I think. I don't think it's the best. So the biggest reason is you don't necessarily want to play Trample for the loss every scenario. If you do want to play it, it's typically at the end. But there's a couple problems with this. Problem number 1 is that you're tying up both your hand slots, which for a lot of classes in the game are pretty poor, but for tanks they're actually decent, or tanky classes. Oh, I would like to request a Scoundrel game at some point. Scoundrel is my favorite. Yeah, all right. So let me just. So if you see in the link below, but I can actually link you directly to the VOD. You can actually watch me play the Scoundrel, well, for 1.5 scenarios from yesterday here. Here's actually the VOD. It's linked to 4 seconds, but I'm sure you can figure that out. Just play at any point in the not too distant future. All right, so here is a link to the VOD from yesterday. That was the first day of the campaign. I did play Scoundrel, Mind Thief, Tinker. I did it first, and I mean, I attempted scenario 1 on +3 difficulty with that party and failed, getting pretty close with a fair amount of bad luck, and then a bit of bad luck and a really, really poor play on my second attempt led to me just abandoning the scenario. So unfortunately, I don't successfully complete it. But if you actually take a look here, I can show you. I mean, I do have my party up here, which has the Scoundrel, Mine Thief, and Tinker all ready to go. I had planned on just playing this party today, but I suppose it's kind of weird. The problem is, yeah, I could switch this in, like just switch this party in for that party, because theoretically you can have, I mean, two different, or not, it's not even, it's still the same party, but two different groups of characters. I mean, there's no issue with this. The problem is you're just messing around with lineages a bit. If I play them, well, I guess that doesn't really mess around with that either. The biggest problem is actually it has to do with items. So if I was to switch in this party today, like I sold the boots from these characters because the other party really needs the boots. So then I would have to sell these back, or these would be stuck here, and then I kind of just would have wasted money. I'll tell you what. So like I said, I've got that one. The best I can do is, well, all right. So there's two options. One, like I said, after I retire all three characters of this party, I will be playing this party no matter what. So in that case, you'll get to see a lot of Scoundrel, which I think is the best way for me to do it. I don't really want to have to switch back and forth between the parties. It just creates too many logistical nightmares. So I just completed scenario 11 the other day, setting with Sarah on +2 with Scoundrel, Tinker, Cragheart, and Tinker in a three-person's game. First attempt as well. All right, nice. That's really good, actually. I'm surprised that that party works so well. But yeah, that's really good. Well done. But what I was going to say is if you do want to see more Scoundrel, you can send me a message on Reddit. I don't know if you know me from there, but my name is Gripeaway there you can find me on the Gloomhaven subreddit. And that way I have your name, and then I can send you a message directly once I start the party with the Scoundrel. Otherwise, you can just subscribe to the YouTube channel, and once you see a VOD for the Scoundrel, then you know that I'm playing it. But again, I have no problem messaging you when it's up, so if you want, I can always do that. Otherwise, you're always welcome to hang out and follow along, and eventually I will get to playing the Scoundrel. I'm glad that the Scoundrel is your favorite character. It's not many people's, but there's not that there's anything wrong with it. It is definitely a powerful class. There's no doubt about it. Okay, so anyway, back to why I don't like the Warhammer build so much. So first of all, you're tying up both your weapon slots just for something you do in the last room, although it does give you a lot of power in the last room. I mean, theoretically, you can do it before the last room, but usually, especially later on, the reason you bring Trample is for the top action, because it actually is an attack 5 against anything with at least shield 2, and it's an attack 4 against things with shield 1, which makes it quite decent against any shielded enemies. Furthermore, it's also just kind of a card you're okay losing. I mean, you can only have so many cards that you don't want to lose. And if you bring the Warhammer specifically for the Trample build, now you have to reroll every time you lose Trample on a short rest, or you just have to long rest all the time. But again, long resting all the time when you have when you have a consumed rather than spent set of weapons, um, is obviously a lot less valuable. So ultimately, it just comes down to I don't like the constraints it forces on you while you play in terms of resting and using your weapons. That being said, it is certainly very powerful, but I'm not going to go that route. We'll almost certainly go with the heater shield once we have the perk. So our purchase order is going to be Iron Helmet for now, and then as soon as we get the perk, we'll buy the Hide Armor. Otherwise, if we get one more gold first before getting one level, then we will go ahead and buy the heater shield first, and then we'll try to get another weapon slot, hopefully with our Prosperity 2 items. So let's just go ahead and buy this Iron Helmet now. And I hope I'm not wrong about how early I unlock that other helmet, because that would be the only reason I would regret buying this. Okay. Warhammer's a level 9 spell. Oh, yeah, because you're right. Oh, it's so true. I had never even thought about that, Core Lord. That's obscene. Although, admittedly, when you're hitting a bunch of things with Inferno, do you really need more help? Yeah, I really like having a summon on the Scoundrel, by the way, Fred Frost. I think it helps a lot. I'm definitely a big fan. In the previous campaign when I played Scoundrel, I had one as well. I had never gone. Oh no, I think I did use the Doom Compass as well. Yeah, I love that item. I mean, I always have someone use it, and it is quite good on the Scoundrel. Yeah, Warhammer on Inferno is actually pretty. I mean, it's silly that Inferno counts as a melee attack, right? When some things like Clear the Way count as a ranged attack. Okay. Anyway, let's get into the scenario. So what we need to do first is the road event. Oh no, we need to finish our shopping. So we got 20 gold on the Cragheart. So the Cragheart can't use small items, so we can use. I mean, can't use any more small items, so we can use. Weapons, but weapons are. I mean, there's just the piercing bow. We can use armor, but the armor is not really useful right now. We could use helm, but the helm we would want, I mean, theoretically could be the iron helmet, but I think we're actually just going to end up having the Tinker sell the Eagle Eye goggles and buy them with the Cragheart. We don't have enough money for any of those things, so we'll just hold on to the 20 gold for now. Scoundrel has 14 gold and doesn't have a small item, so we're going to buy our minor power potion for now. My purchase order for the Scoundrel, especially, I mean, sorry, God, why do I keep calling her the Scoundrel? For the Spellweaver in this party is almost always going in a party like this, especially, is going to be Eagle Eye goggles, power potion, piercing bow, always in that order. Piercing bow is more valuable than the power potion without a doubt, but obviously the power potion is a much sooner buy than the piercing bow and is more generically useful. Although the piercing bow is useful, I would say, at least on 2 out of 3 scenarios. And the cloak of invisibility, I will maybe buy at some point. I probably actually will just never buy in this party. If I'm in a more vulnerable party or like a 2-player party, then I'm a little bit more tempted by it. But in a 3-player party with 2 beef tanks, I don't really need it. Beefcakes. That's what I meant to say. Oh, beef tanks works kind of as well. So we'll buy the minor power potion, which costs us 10. Buying without a discount does kind of hurt, but so be it. Okay, so that's all we needed. Oh yeah, wait, so we have all our names, right? Wanda, Sir Crogglesworth the Grooved, and Volkner. Alright. So now we just need to do a road event quickly, and we'll head into our scenario. Alright. Wait. I put this one back on top last time. This is just the... Let me double check. Yep, this is the one that I did last time. Okay. Yeah, I just must have made a mistake there. Yeah, I know what this one is. Okay, nice. Oh, it's lost. That's actually pretty welcome for this scenario. Alright, so we're back. We gained 1 bless each. Oops. Not extremely exciting, but for a boss fight, extremely welcome. Alright, and let's get into the scenario. So here we're doing scenario number 2, which is the only scenario we have open to us. I was a little tempted to try to go back and do scenario 1 and +3, because I'd really like to know for sure if I could have, but I think that would be a little less interesting for the stream, so... Sorry, having some coffee. Accordingly, we're going to do scenario... Oops, it's not this one. This one, I just have that book out because I was setting it up over here, because that's what we'll do next after we beat this one. Knock on wood. Alright, so this is a boss fight. The goal for the scenario is to kill the bandit commander and all revealed enemies. And the bandit commander, he jumps around and opens doors, basically. But to begin with, we need to deal with what's in this first room. Okay. So something like this actually works pretty well. I mean, any pairing like this. So the reason why this works well is because it's actually good to have the Spellweaver at range 2 of one of the archers. It does mean she's going to get an attack or get attacked once, which I don't love, but it allows her to actually make 2 attacks because we can use Flame Strike, which is only range 2 since we don't need to move. We're definitely not using a loss attack in the first room of a boss fight. These 3 archers don't present that much of a threat, and so that's why she can't be further back. It would be nice to have her further back because then she's not going to take any attacks, but again, taking 1 attack should typically be okay. Obviously, if they get a scary flip, both on their card and their modifier, then we can get punished for that, but typically we shouldn't. Normally we have some margin there. And so of these 2, I don't know that there's any reason to have one or the other further up. I think we'll be using the exact same hand as last time. Yeah, Avalanche is actually really good here. Where's my hand? Oh, yeah, it's here. So let's just start laying out these hands. All right. I mean, there's some argument for not bringing Provoking Roar, right? Just because the boss is immune to... Actually, I don't even know if the boss is immune to disarm. Actually, the boss is not immune to disarm. Although it's not typically very useful anyway, because the scary thing the boss does is his specials. So he's only got a 1 out of 8. I mean, sorry, 1 out of 4. Only there are 2 cards that he can do where he actually attacks. Otherwise, he's summoning and jumping to doors. Which makes him kind of a coward, right? Can't even fight himself frequently, but so be it. So the real question we have now for the Spellweaver is, should we bring Crackling Air? I think the answer is still yes. We can even try to get it set up before we enter the boss fight, and that'll obviously give us a pretty big burst when we have to start engaging him. This is, I would say, let me have a sip. Oh, Battle Roll, thank you very much, Warlord. Definitely would have forgotten. All right, let's grab the battle goals. It's amazing how we almost forget this. Do always appreciate the reminders. Okay, so for the brute, kill 3 or fewer enemies, or loot no money tokens or overlay treasure tiles. Well, I kind of really want more money. I also want check marks, though. I guess we're not supposed to look at the others. Killing 3 or fewer monsters is quite doable for a boss fight. But this is 2 check marks. Now let's just try to kill 3 or fewer monsters. I think it's just more reasonable. I'd rather go for a check mark that I'm very likely to get than a check mark I don't really want to get, even though technically I can't always control getting another one. Kill 1 or more elites, or never allow your hit points to drop below half. Well, like I said, I basically never ever take Die Hard, so I'll take this one. Killing 1 or more elites, I mean, it's tough to say. I think there will be, realistically, we should probably say 2 elites, maybe 3 for this scenario. So it's doable. And then over here, kill an undamaged monster with a single attack, or be the first to kill a monster. Well, sorry, having a sip. One-shotting monster is not so easy for us, maybe with Crackling Air setup, but being the first to kill a monster is theoretically quite doable. Okay, so, where were we? What I wanted to say is, I don't mind Crackling Air at all, actually, because boss fights should actually typically be one of the more difficult things. Oh yeah, hold on, there's special rules, right? Yep, 3 curse cards. I'm so good at forgetting those. Alright, so we've got 3 curse cards per person. Well, that kind of balances out that bless we got, huh? Our party composition is not... I mean, Spellweaver and Cragheart are not very good, at least not for now. Cragheart will get a little bit better in a few levels. I guess actually maybe not even. We'll see. But yeah, for now, our party doesn't really have anyone who's that great against bosses. The Brute is the best, but still not near as good as obviously the Mind Thief or the Scoundrel. So we do struggle a bit on bosses. Therefore, doing something like Crackling Air, definitely a good idea. That's also the reason why we're only doing +2 here rather than trying +3 again, even though I think this party is stronger. Strong enough to potentially tackle +3. All right. So we kind of always know what we're doing here. Pretty easy setup because we just have this kind of natural combo that works. So like I said, we started at this range so that we can do a range 2 attack on the bottom of Flame Strike with the Spellweaver, and we want to do an attack which is going to consume the earth that the Cragheart can create. We want to go really early on everyone to try to kill the archers before they go, which for the Cragheart really early means unstable upheaval. And accordingly, our best range attack is going to be Massive Boulder, which also creates the earth, like I said, to power up the top of Frost Armor for the Spellweaver. So overall, this combo just works really well, and just up to what the Brute is going to do. For the Brute, it's actually pretty interesting as well. So I really don't want the Spellweaver to get hit, right? So if the Brute goes very early and moves to here, which also works well for a Skewer, right? Although there's the trap. Is it better to use Skewer or the trap? It's actually kind of similar, right? So these enemies have 6 health, and the trap is 5 damage. Yeah. So that basically, so we have 2 options. We could either try to skewer or try to do a push attack with warding strength. Where is it? So the advantage of skewer obviously is that we have 2 lined up right now, so we could theoretically hit both targets. We're using it without the wind because we're probably going to save the wind, like I said, to power up Crackling Air before we go into the boss fight room. Even if I am pretending as if I don't know what's in the scenario, if you look at a scenario like this and you know it's a boss fight, you're not going to guess that the boss is going to be in like this room or something like that. The boss always makes sense that it's going to be in the center. So this is a safe assumption no matter what. So since I'm not going to use the bottom here, I can certainly use Skewer now, just not powered up. Still attack 3 on 2 targets is very, very good. So this is basically 6 damage, whereas this is 6 damage as well, except this is split over 2 targets and this is just a 1 target. The problem is we'll never be able to use the push again, but I guess if we kill one of them, the Skewer is also not getting any better. Because we can't push this or this into a trap. I guess they theoretically might. No, they'll never move into a trap to lose disadvantage or anything like that. I think I like Skewer more. The Cragheart is actually doing multiple target damage with Massive Boulder, so I'd rather split the Brute's damage as well, I think. I think this is maybe better than getting a guaranteed kill on one of them, because we should probably kill one of them anyway with the 3 plus the 3. I guess then here we're counting on not getting unlucky, and knowing our luck, not getting unlucky is not very likely, right? So better to push one into a trap then? Is that the moral of the story here? I guess in that situation, we can probably just kill 2 of them. We probably just shouldn't fixate too much on making sure that we get value of a Massive Boulder. I mean, it's just 1 damage we might be missing. And then the Cragheart plus the 2 attacks from the Spellweaver can actually normally kill another archer. So this should eliminate 2 archers, hopefully, before they attack. They have 2 cards that can go before us. All right. So accordingly, we want to go pretty early. Probably want to save the heal for afterwards in case we take a bit of damage. So we might as well just use Provoking Roar now. I think this is fine. We're just going to use this as a generic move too, just for initiative. We don't care so much about having this in the next room. It could be nice for the following turn after we've killed 2 and there's just 1 left to be able to basically stop the other one from attacking. But hopefully we can just also try to kill it before it goes. So there shouldn't be any issue either way. Okay. Let's give this a try. So we got just archers up. Let's give them a shuffle. Make sure we have everything well shuffled. Shuffle these as well while we're at it. Shuffle these as well while we're at it. Why did we shuffle the Bandit Commanders beyond me? All right, and let's give it a try. And let's give it a try. All right, 31, perfectly fine. So first up on the Brute, we're going to use the bottom Provoking Roar as a generic move too. Going like this. We're going to gain 1 experience. We're going to do attack 3 with Skewer, targeting both the archers. We'll do 6 and then 5 in that order. Ugh. Okay. Well, that's still fine then. So here we only did 1 damage. Oops. Not quite like that. And then we got a +1 on the 3 here, so we did 4 damage, putting us down to 2. I just need to type to Themris. Hi, Themris. For those of you who don't know, Themris is another mod from the subreddit. It's probably the hardest working mod, not gonna lie. The subreddit would not function without him. And he's making a great custom class, so a man of many talents. Okay, so we're done with the Brute. Next up is the Cragheart. So we don't need to move first because we already have range 3. We're definitely going to attack this one. There's 2 reasons for this. One, this is at 2, so our attack 3, again, with anything short of a -2 or miss, we'll kill this one, and we'll get 1 splash damage here. Whereas if we do this, we do 1 splash damage here and theoretically leave both of them alive, and that would deal 1 damage to the Brute. So it's obviously strictly better to attack number 5. So we'll make an attack 3, range 3, with 1 splash damage, creating an Earth, attacking Bandit Archer number 5. All right, there's the -1, but actually that's perfectly fine. We got a -1 out of our deck, and that was all we needed. This is why this was quite safe. And then we get 1 splash damage here from the top of Massive Boulder. Just so, in case anyone who doesn't know Massive Boulder, how did you disable the active hand area and remove your username from the TTS mod? So I actually just did that by going to the zones thing over here and clicking on the hands tab, and then just by clicking on a zone with without a player selected, just with spectator slot selected or something like that, it just made them disappear. It's pretty fortunate actually, because it was pretty annoying. It's much nicer being able to have the hands down here on the ground. Sorry, just having another sip of coffee. Okay, and so then we have a generic move 2 with Unstable Upheaval. There's no reason not to move up, I would say. This also gives us flexibility to potentially do a melee attack and then a bottom not move next turn if we need to, something like that. So we'll just go up like this. Just gets us next to the door as well. And we just have the free 2 movement. Should we Hamina here? Probably should. Oops, we haven't reset this. Oh yeah, I'll just quickly explain this. For anyone who's tuning in today for the first time, just a quick explanation. This is a minor Hamina potion. So we're not playing with stamina potions because they're broken. So we're playing with this replacement, which is the minor Hamina potion. And you can read exactly what it does. So the idea was to fix the aspect of stamina potions, which allowed people to reuse their most effective actions. We only have one actually on the Cragheart for now. We're not playing with one on the Brute or the Spellweaver. All right, so what is our choice here? Oh yeah, what was I explaining? So the nice thing is it actually works really well with the Cragheart because we pretty much always just use Unstable Upheaval as a generic move 2 with 13 initiative, which is actually very good for the Cragheart because of his poor initiative. So we can pretty much always do this, and actually doing it here will give us 1 extra turn. So I think we might as well just do that now because I'm not sure we'll necessarily have another generic move 2 or attack 2 before our next rest. And like I said, this will just net us 1 turn. Since we have an 11 card hand size, getting 1 more card puts us up to 12, which adds, like I said, 1 turn. So if we do this at 2 different times when we have odd numbered cards or odd numbered hands, we can actually end up netting 2 total turns with the Hamina Potion, which isn't a nice little thing about the Hamina Potion as well, because, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's obviously strictly, I mean, not strictly worse, but it is truly, truly worse than the Stamina Potion, but still, I mean, the Stamina Potions are broken, so that makes sense. What's nice about this is the goal of the Stamina Potion, ostensibly, was to give it extra longevity to classes that needed it. And in the end, this can actually end up adding 2 turns rather than 1 turn, so it can actually add more actual stamina than a minor stamina potion can, while being less abusable. Well, basically while being more or less unabusable, with the exception of people who, I mean, like, yeah, the Mind Thief is one of the better classes for abusing it, as well as the Cragheart, because the Mind Thief does generic attack 2s, the Cragheart does generic move 2s, but still. Okay, so now we're up to the Spellweaver. As usual, we're going to use our top attack first, because then we have more options for our bottom. We want to attack the one that's at 4 health, because we're going to make an attack 3 and then an attack 2. So again, this should theoretically kill the 4, as long as we can average -1 + 0 across our 2 attacks. Um, Oops, sorry, there was an earth created, although this doesn't matter so much because we're going to consume the earth with the top of frost armor, which gains 1 experience. So we get an attack 3, range 3, targeting bandit archer number 6. Should we have used this maybe? Long rested before the first room? Well, that's bad. Alright. So water. Theoretically, better to get them out now than while we're fighting the boss, I guess. Okay, well, we're just going to use the bottom Flame Strike as an attack 2, range 2, targeting that same archer, I suppose. Maybe we get a crit. +2. Wow. Yeah, this is another one of those days. I mean, yeah, all right. Overall, this was wow. Actually, no. These are our flips so far. Man, I mean, am I just the luckiest person in the world, or what? A -2, -1, -2, and a +1. Oof. Okay, so we just made an attack 3 and attack 2, and we did 0 damage, and we're done. Now the archers go. So this one will always move back to here and attack the brute. This one will also attack the brute, but with disadvantage. So we'll make the attack with 3 first. So disadvantage. These are attack 3s. So disadvantage to attack 3. Okay. So 3 damage. And then a non-disadvantage attack 3. Also on the brute. So 2 damage. Yeah, that's correct. At least it wasn't the real null card. I liked how you look at the bright side of Randall. Like I said, getting out a curse here while fighting these archers isn't really the end of the world. It's actually more the -2 which really twists the knife, right? I mean, if I have to choose between drawing curse now and drawing curse on the boss, obviously I prefer to draw curse now, especially because we have plenty of healing, so we can certainly heal up whatever damage they deal, more or less whatever damage they deal to us, while we deal with them in this first room. But getting the -2 afterwards was really like the icing on the cake there. Okay. So what's our next plan? It really sucks that we can't actually push any of them into traps. That's for sure. How do we deal with them? Well, it'd be nice to heal ourselves. That also would create an element for the Spellweaver, so that's pretty tempting. We also don't need to move because we're already adjacent to one. In that case, what is the best attack we can make? We don't really have much in the way of effective attacks then. I mean, just something like Leaping Cleave. No, we need to save the bottom of Leaping Cleave. So we could spare a dagger. The other one, it's a little bit weird to use our ranged attack now. But otherwise, I guess just trample is just an attack 3. It's maybe good enough. I mean, you can never be too unhappy with an attack 3. So the reason why we don't want to use Spare Dagger is because if we end up not having to rest before we go into the boss fight, we actually want Spare Dagger for the turn we go into the boss room. I mean, the room with the boss. You pretty much always want to try to save Spare Dagger for when you breach rooms. This is really, really important for the Brute. Balance Measure is one of our best cards, but also just as an attack here. Grab and Go isn't an attack here. Leaping Cleave, like I said, we want to save the bottom to set up Crackling Air. Warding Strength is theoretically also an attack 3, although there, with the 2 traps in the room, there's some world in which this could potentially be better. Also, it has better initiative, and we're already going with the good initiative here, so we don't need better initiative with that. And then this just isn't really doing anything. I mean, it's just an attack 2 as well. So this seems like it's actually the best. This just allows us to heal a bit and do an attack 3 here and set up an earth. So we want to go after the 18, but we want to make an attack which uses the earth. And we also want to make our only remaining non-loss attack, which, oh, we don't want to use Crackling Air. See, the initiative on Crackling Air is nice here because it actually allows us to go after the 18 with the element. All right, let's reevaluate then. The problem is we want to save the top of Crackling Air for setting up for when we go into the next room. We could do a rest first, but I don't necessarily love having to do that. I'm not sure we'll need that many more turns here. All right, let's see what the Cragheart can do, and then we can further evaluate. So the Cragheart does need to move or do a ranged attack. Can just make a ranged attack, I suppose. Although then we're not necessarily going to have a ranged attack for when we enter the room. I mean, I guess we can still have Earthing Cloud, although we kind of like to use the bottom of Earthing Cloud as a heal here. Maybe we just move up and make this attack. It seems fine, actually. All right. So what if we just move up, going very early with this, and just make an attack with like this. Again, well, an attack 3 unfortunately doesn't really kill this one, but that actually should be fine, because then the Spellweaver can actually go as early as she wants to, using Mana Bolt, so we don't have to use Crackling Air for initiative. We can just throw away one of the cards. There's no world in which I mean, we definitely have 2 more turns before we enter the next room, right? So we're going to have the Crackling Air setup turn. So we're not going to play, I mean, we are going to want to save Fire Orbs, but we're not going to play it before our next rest. So it's fine to just throw this away. The reason why we throw that away is because this is theoretically more movement, although it really doesn't change much. It's pretty much the exact same thing. No matter. So the reason why this is actually fine now is because we don't need the element so much. I mean, it'd be nice to have it because it would give us 1 extra experience, basically. But here we'll be doing an attack 2 and an attack 3 on something with 4 health. So again, with an average of +0, -1, we should be able to kill it. And we're not really killing anything else here anyway, so this just seems fine. It also gives us more convenient initiative. Allows us to still go very early because archers can go quite fast. All right, 29, like I said. Here we go to go, fortunately, all before them. Okay, so we're going first with the Spellweaver. So we have an attack 2, range 3. A little bit disappointing, but so be it. We're going to attack archer number 6 with our attack 2. If I wasn't going to use the goggles last turn, I'm definitely not using them here. All right, so 2 damage. That's perfectly fine. Down to 2. And then we've got to move. Wait, where did the coin go? Did I just forget to place the coin? Or did someone... No, no one picked it up. Yep, just forgot to place the coin. Okay. Oh wait, who killed this? Did I fail my goal already? I always forget battle goals. I did, since I got the double miss, right? Yeah. Well, it wouldn't have mattered. I went last anyway. Nah, I wasn't really thinking about that. Oops. Oh well. Oh well. Playing three-handed, I forget battle goals all the time. Kill 1 or more elite monsters. Kill 3 or fewer monsters. And it was also... No, it was the Cragheart who killed. Yeah, because the Skewer came first. Yes. Because it was 10 and 13. Okay. So... Now we gotta move 3. Do we want to move anywhere? Cragheart needs to move there to attack, so I guess no, we can't really move anywhere. Oh, okay, that's where it was. Ah, you're right. That's it. Yeah, yeah. I just thought that I killed the front one. Okay, no. So I did place it. Thank you. Yeah, so the coin should be on the one there because it moved here at a disadvantage. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. You can tell that I have not had my coffee yet. All right, hold on. Let me just chug the rest of this. No, I'm not gonna, but I'm gonna finish half of it. Hold on. Ah, there we go. Okay. Whew. Much better. Now I'll be 100% focused. Okay, so now we're gonna use the bottom of Unstable Upheaval as a generic move 2, as usual for the Cragheart. Just here, carefully. Perfect. And then we're going to use the top of Opposing Strike. I've gone over this before in the last campaign, but it's really important when you play this card. I mean, so this is a fine card for the Cragheart early on, but the reason why this is a fine card for the Cragheart early on is quite simply because this is an attack 3, which gives 1 experience, and that's all it is. 5 to 10% of the time, it will be an attack 6. But 90% of the time at least, you should just look at this as an attack 3, 1 experience, and that's actually fine for the Cragheart because of how important it is to get level 4 for the Cragheart, which completely changes the Cragheart's effectiveness. So just making attack 3 as the game 1 experience, perfectly fine for him. Okay, so Mist is going to be an attack 3, giving us 1 experience, targeting archer number 6. Alright. I mean, it's better than getting a curse, I guess. I'm actually not even sure if that is better. It probably is better than getting a curse there. But obviously, I would have much rather save that for the boss, because the boss is going to be difficult. There's no doubt about it. All right, next up is your Brute. So the Brute's going to start with the attack. Even though we're planning on healing ourselves, again, we always attack first because... All right, I'll explain this once for now. I won't go over it too much, especially not today because the throat. But basically, the bottom is all known information, right? Whereas the top is unknown information. So it's better to get some unknown information and then use that to inform our decision to play something else rather than just doing this and then making this. Because we already know exactly what this is going to do, but it's possible something that happens with our attack changes our mind for what we do at the bottom. Now here, that's extremely unlikely, but it is still technically correct. Although one of the reasons why I should actually not always do this correctly is because many times I do the attack and I get frustrated with the modifier or whatever, and then I just forget about the bottom. But anyway, we're going to make an attack 3 targeting archer number 3. Okay. Down to 4. And then we're going to do a heal 2 on ourselves because we're the one missing health, putting us up to 7, and creating an earth. And then the archer's up. So the archer is going to make an attack at -1, so it's going to be an attack 2 on the brute with disadvantage, and it also immobilizes. Okay, so 2 damage. There goes that health. And immobilize. Okay, and that's the end of that round. So, what's next? Well, there's some coins over there. Some nice, juicy coins. I guess for the time being, the person I want money on the most is probably the Spellweaver. So I should probably try to get them with her. We don't have any non-loss attacks. We're definitely not playing any losses here. We'll try to play this next turn after we get the air set up. But for this turn, I guess we can just do a move and a heal. In which case, it doesn't really matter which move we make. We can just use this one, I guess. Doesn't, like I said, changes absolutely nothing. So it's really nice to get level 2 so we can get Flashing Burst, just to have one more non-loss attack. The dearth of non-loss attacks is quite a problem for the Spellweaver at level 1. Okay. So, what are you two fellas doing? So we'd like to create wind, but we can do this before because she can go at 80 next round, so we can always do that next round. There's no hurry for that. I mean, our plan is to use Spare Dagger when we enter the next room, and we probably want our biggest move as well, so that's going to be Grab and Go. So we should save these two. I know it's a little bit weird to use Spare Dagger with Grab and Go rather than Balanced Measure, but there's just no guarantee in such a large room that we can actually get adjacent to something. So it's better to just do the safer play rather than trying to be too greedy. So if that's the case, we can actually try to use Balanced Measure now. Unfortunately, just the initiative isn't very good. No, we actually kind of just want to go with better initiative, though, so I think we're just going to have to use the 32 regardless. And I guess we can just use Leaping Cleave now to create the win, because she'll still have it for next turn. And then we can kind of decide what we're going to do. I don't know. But the problem is, it actually wouldn't be... It would be nice to get Warding Strength set up before we enter the next room. The problem is we just have bad initiative. If we go... Because we can do a move 3 and then do this attack to gain 1 experience, but our initiative is so bad then. But I do really think I want to set this up, actually. Because we have one more setup turn? Yeah. Yeah, alright. Let's just go with bad initiative then. I mean, such is the life of the Brute and the Cragheart early on, right? Alright, I'm just going to finish my coffee. Ah, God. The coffee is rough, too, because my throat is so sore. It does not help at all. But, oh, God, I need it. Otherwise, I'm just not focused enough. Okay. So, we've got an Earth with the old Cragheart. We can do heals next turn, so let's just attack with Crater, right? Because this just gives us 1 experience. And again, we do value experience. And then I guess we can just do the bottom heal anyway, since that's fine. I guess that means we don't have an attack when we go into the next room, but we don't really need to move. We have +1 to our ranged attack, but then we have bad initiative as well. It would kind of be better if we could go... I guess she's not actually attacking, so I guess we're not killing it with good initiative no matter what. Well, I guess if we get a +1 we could, which is possible. I mean, honestly, an attack 2 when we go into the next room is so bad anyway. I just rather use this for the bottom heal, is the truth. And we got a move 3 plus our boots. We got move 5. Range. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do when we enter the next room, actually. But that's not a question for now. We'd also like to get backup ammo set up before we enter the next room. We want to heal next turn as well. This is actually getting a bit awkward. I guess we may not even need that much healing. Well, we'll see. Because technically we have 5 healing going out now with Earth and Clod plus this. So if the Brute goes to full, we don't take any additional damage because we kill the Archer before the Archer goes. Then we actually can afford to get backup ammo. And if we have to heal otherwise, well, it's not the end of the world if we don't get to play backup ammo. Backup ammo is good, but it's not that great on boss fights since it's more important in the single target damage than multi-target damage. Although in the end, in this scenario, as we know, there is an Archer we want to kill as well. Alright, 16. So Archer goes first, -1 attacks, it's an attack 2, still disadvantaged against the Brute. Okay, so 1 damage to the Brute. Well, we may put backup ammo rather than healing for 1. Alright, and then the Cragheart goes, so as usual we'll do our top attack first. We gain 1 experience, consume the Earth, and do an attack 3, range 3, push 2. We can gain the experience and add the push. The push still just doesn't do anything, but again, it does give us an experience. So here's our attack 3 against the Archer. Okay, so no +1 anyway. It wouldn't have mattered if we tried for... Well, we did go for the better initiative, but still didn't matter. And then we're going to use the bottom Earth and Clod as a heal 2, range 3, healing the Brute up to 6. And then we're done. So then the brute goes. So, oh, I'm an idiot. I forgot I can't move. I'm so stupid. Balance measure was stupid to play here. All right. Well, we're just gonna play balance measure as a generic move too. This sucks because we lose the experience. We could do an attack 0 and hope to flip +1, but I think that's just a bit stupid. We'll just make an attack 2 here. So we'll do an attack 2 generic with the top of balance measure since we can't actually move to generate more attack. I forgot about the immobilize actually. So an attack 2 on the archer. All right. So the archer dies. We didn't have. Okay. So we've killed. Wait, where's our little baggie? Oh, it's down here. Let's kill one monster this far. Right? Or did we kill? No, we didn't. Did we kill the one over here? No, it was the Cragheart came up and killed it. Yeah, we did not. Okay, no, because we attacked the other one. And then we're gonna use the bottom of Leaving Cleave and make him move 0, but create air. And then it's the Spellweaver's turn. Spellweaver's gonna perform move 4 with the bottom Impaling Eruption. Oh, sorry, this is gone. And just go over to here. Don't mind if I do. The 2 stack is always glorious. And then we're gonna do a heal 3, range 3 on the brute, putting the brute back up to 9. Okay, so now we have our setup round, and then we go in. So setup round is really easy here. We're going to set up Crackling Air. Setup round over here is going to be Warding Strength. And we want to save these two, so just throwing with Sweeping Blow. So I don't normally, I mean, in a normal scenario, I wouldn't play so many losses right before entering a room. But like I said, this is a boss fight. So if we can invest some lost cards now to have more of a power spike immediately when we start fighting, that's probably going to pay dividends for us in almost any boss fight. On almost any boss fight scenario, I will do setup before the room that I suspect is the boss. Okay, and so here, like I said, a heal 1 is just pretty meh. So I think I would rather actually just use backup ammo, get that set up. And I guess creating an earth does have some value. So we can create an earth at the bottom. Definitely not with Rumbling Advance, because Rumbling Advance is sweet. We can actually just use Avalanche to create an earth. We can actually just create we can only create one obstacle, but this still works, so we just create one obstacle right there, which still gives us the earth. This obstacle does nothing, but it's more, again, just about creating the earth. We don't need to move, because the Spellweaver has nothing but a move on bottom anyway, so the Spellweaver can get that coin. Okay, let's do it. So Spellweaver first, we're going to use the top of Crackling Air, so this becomes active. We consume the air, and this makes it so we have, on your next 4 attacks, add +1 attack, but if we consumed win, it's add +2 attack instead. So our next 4 attacks will get +2 attack, which is going to be quite useful. So we basically front-loaded 8 damage on a boss fight, which, like I said, is quite valuable. Then we'll do move 4 jump, and we'll hop over here. See, I guess this is why I accidentally call the Spellweaver the Scoundrel all the time, right? All right. Then the brute goes, so we're going to activate Warding Strength. So Warding Strength is on the next 6 sources of damage from attacks targeting you, gain shield 1. So again, we're basically front-loading 6 health for ourselves, or 6 shield, which is pretty nice. It's also a nice source of experience early on for the brute, which is good. And the top does nothing. And then over here, we're going to do both the top and the bottom. So first, we're going to set up backup ammo, which is one of the best early losses for any of the starting classes. This is a really, really powerful loss. It's great. And it generates a ton of experience, which is also really great, especially for the Cragheart, who, like I said, really wants to get level 4. Anyway, on your next 4 ranged attack actions, add plus target. Now, the thing to be careful with here is that you always, it spends a charge no matter whether you can add a charge or not, or add a target or not. So we do need to be careful not to waste charges if we can. I gotta respond to Thermos. All right. And then we're gonna use the bottom of Avalanche, create 2 single hex obstacles and empty hexes adjacent to you, and create an earth. So like I said, we can actually only create 1 obstacle here. Oh no, we actually can create 2. All right, then we actually do have to create both of them, so we will do exactly that. Obstacle there, obstacle there. This doesn't actually block any paths, so it is legal. Again, we don't really necessarily want the obstacle here, but it's not necessarily bad. And again, this was all just to create the earth, which may or may not be helpful when we go into the next room, but there's a decent chance it will be. Okay, and that's the end of the round. So it's time to go in. So we need to take a short rest on the Spellweaver. That sucks. So I don't really care so much about the top of Impaling Eruption. It's fine, but it's not that great. I more actually just care about losing a move 4. But we still have 1 move 4, so it should be alright. Anyway, as a Spellweaver on a short rest, you can't reroll. Unless you get Reviving Ether as the short rested card. Okay, so let's see. We've got these two cards going in. We're going in hot. For us, we don't have much actually. So what is actually probably going to be the best plan is just to walk in late and heal the brute. I know this sounds really derpy to yeah, I don't know. Twitch is weird, but it actually has to do with so 6 is generally just a guideline as for the average. It actually has to do with the number of people who are I mean, with like it's calculated based on an average of all the people streaming. So it just means that the average today of viewers is higher, or there are more people streaming with a higher number of viewers. So less people get priority for transcoding who have a lower number of viewers or a lower number of average viewers. So anyway, the reason we're going to do this is because we don't actually have any ranged attacks here, right? I mean, the best we have is Dirt Tornado, which admittedly we have Earth for, but we just all right, this room is huge, and we only have 3 movement. Theoretically 5 with the boots, but it's just too risky, especially to waste a charge of backup ammo on something like an attack 2 muddle, which may not, and then doesn't even necessarily get to hit anyone. So I'd rather just play it safer here. I'm just going to do a move 3 to move in, maybe with the boots, and I'm just going to run in behind the brute and then toss a heal 4 into the brute, and I'm going to go late so that the brute's very likely to have taken damage, and the heal 4 will do something, which seems pretty good. As for the scoundrel, well, whatever. All right, Spellweaver is just a scoundrel now. So we've got that Earth. So we're going to run in as well. We want to go late as well. So, well, I mean, it doesn't really change much because we're not killing anything. So this gives us more possibility that something will move up and we can hit it. And we'll use our worst of our 2. I mean, well, technically we have 3 non-loss attacks here. We don't want to use a loss attack right when we run in, especially since we don't have something like Boots of Striding. We can't be sure that we'll actually get in range to hit multiple things with Fire Orbs. So better to save Fire Orbs for the turn after when we can be sure to move enough. This is why I wasn't too happy losing Impaling Eruption because I really wanted to have another move action. So we're actually just going to make a regular range, a non-loss range attack. So we don't. I mean, it's not that we would play Fire Orbs then, we just run in and do nothing. So it's better to hopefully get an attack 3, and if we don't get the attack 3, then it's no big deal. Whereas if we play Fire Orbs and then we don't have it for the next 2 turns, this could actually be a very real cost. Yeah, I actually probably will. I was considering that actually, although I did like the name Wanda, but this is probably better. Yeah, so this is why I like doing this. And this works really well because we get to go after, I mean, we go before the Cragheart who's going to create new Earth, so we'll get to use the old Earth, assuming we get to attack, and if we don't get to attack, like I said, it just doesn't change anything. All right. This looks like a pretty good plan. Let's do it. What could possibly go wrong? That's what it is, right? It's what could possibly? What could possibly go wrong? It's actually the better, although that would definitely not fit. And the amount that this fits is better. All right, let's do a move 4 with grab and go using the brute. So move 1, time to set up the room. And special rules, etc. But special rules just revolve around the boss. There we go. I gotta respond to Themers. Okay. Sorry, I was just responding as Themers, and since he has things muted, I just had to type to him. So in here we have an elite archer and a regular archer. All right. It's manageable. And we have the boss. So how much health does the boss have? Boss has 39 health. Okay, respectable. It's going to be a lot of damage for our party to deal. 6 and 10. Okay, and let's flip. Ooh, the boss is actually attacking. Multi-target range attack, but that's okay because we only have 1 person in. Our archers is doing standard stuff. All of this is fine. Okay, so we have 3 more movement. 1, 2, 3. Yep, so this works out well. We could have actually in the end used balance measure with our boots, but there's just it was again too risky since we didn't know the layout of the room. Now theoretically I do know the layout of the room, but again I try to play as if I don't. All right. So 1, 2, 3. I don't think it changes anything whether we go here or here. In fact, this is better. Oh, so I should read just in case anyone doesn't know how this boss functions. So what the special rules are. So the first special he does is he moves to the next room and reveals the door. So in order, he jumps to this door, then this door, then this door, then this door, opening the rooms and revealing all the enemies inside. And then his special 2 is summoning living bones. We generally prefer him not to do either specials, and actually this is quite fortunate. If we have to have him do one of them, we generally prefer him to open doors, because when he opens doors, there's still a finite number of enemies, whereas every time he summons living bones, it actually can theoretically add an infinite number of enemies. Okay, so that was our move 4. There's no reason to use the boots here. Better to save the boots. We're not about to long rest or anything like that, and the boots can add 2 damage in the future with Balance Measure. We're going to gain 1 experience with Spare Dagger. So my targeting priority in this room is always to kill, at the very least, the Elite Archer first, although usually both the Archers first. So it's like Archers and then Boss and then the stuff that he spawned. Then like Living Bones and the Living Corpses, which will come out. So I'm going to go for the Archer first. It sucks the Spellweaver because she's 1 further back, won't actually get to hit anyone. Is it more realistic? No. Well, no, because we have a lot of AoE attacks. Yeah, I'll attack the Elite Archer because the Spellweaver's gonna hit multiple targets anyway. So I think I'd rather spread damage a little bit. It's not like I'm gonna kill the regular again. Well, I guess I have a Bless and a Crit in my deck, but still it's only 1 out of 10. All right, so on the Elite Archer and attack 3. Yeah, perfectly fine. 2 damage down to 8. And we're done. So then the Archers go. So the Archers have 4 range and 5 range, which is easily enough to hit. There was really, what have we gone? No, there was no way we really could have. I guess we. Maybe we did make a mistake here. What if we had gone like this instead? So we go 1, 2, 3, and then use the boots to go to here. Because then if we attack this like this. Well, yeah. So the thing here is we theoretically could have used our boots to go here, make the range attack here. This would actually force this archer to move. But then the archer could either go here or here to attack. And then we would have to, I mean, so a real party could do this, but I would never do this to exploit ambiguity. Because if it goes here, then it doesn't help me at all and it just wastes the boots. If she goes here, then it helps a lot because then the Spellweaver actually gets to make an attack. So in that case, I mean, saving the boots gives me basically +2 damage, but here I'd actually be getting +3 damage and 1 experience actually. So theoretically, if the archer were to move here, this would be better for me, but if it's here, it's obviously a lot worse. And since I'm the one who has to choose that, it's difficult for me, and I would pretty much always end up choosing here, because it also makes sense from the archer's perspective to stay clumped with her allies and behind the barrier. So yeah, that's why it was still fine, the choice we made. Okay, so like I said, both the archers can attack from where they are. It's just standard attack +0, so attack 4 and then attack 3. Attack 4 first. Alright, we'll take it. 2, 3, 4. We've got some healing coming. And the attack 3, miss. I would have rather the other way around, but that's still fine. Okay, and then the boss goes, oh yeah, this is actually going to hurt a bit. Well, good thing we got that miss there, I guess. All right, he has -1 movement, so he has 3 movement. He can never hit 2 targets with 3 movement, so he has no reason to move at all from where he is, and he's just going to make an attack -1, so an attack 3 on the brute. Oh boy. Oh, whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, we're actually more fine. So we should have used 1 charge of Warding Strength. I always forget my active items, which are down here. Use 1 charge of Warding Strength and blocked 1. And then, so this attack, like I said, would be, so it was a 3 because of the -1. And then we get +1 here, so it goes up to a 4. And then we block 1 here, which gives us 1 experience. So we take 3. All right, that's much, much better. We're fine. We're fine. Okay, now it's the Spellweaver's turn. We have a move 4 with the bottom reviving Ether. For jump, technically 1, 2, 3, 4. Guess we can just go to here, because then we'll still have range. Yeah. Because we want the Cragheart to be able to move as much as possible. The Cragheart is more movement limited. We just need to be able to get in range to do Fire Orbs on both things next turn, but we can do that with the generic move here. What do we actually have for bottoms in terms of initiative? We can just move with Mana Bolt, that's fine. Yeah, that way we guaranteed go early. Yep, alright, that works. So yeah, we can just stop here actually, even though this is 1 short, because even if we go to here, which is our maximum movement, we won't have range. We'll be 1 range short. So if we go here, next turn we can just move to here and we'll still have range 3 to hit all 3 of them with fire orbs. And this allows the Cragheart to do his full move 3 rather than only doing move 2, which he'd be stuck back here. And the Cragheart, like I said, has more limited movement than the Spellweaver, although this is only kind of true because the Cragheart does have the Boots of Striding and the Spellweaver has just lost a move 4, and we're using the other one here. Still, the Cragheart also needs to be closer, and it works for the Spellweaver anyway, so we can just stop here. Unfortunately, like I said, we can't attack no matter what, so we won't. And then it's the Cragheart who goes. So we're going to use a move 3 on the bottom of Dirt Tornado. Could try to move 4 and use the top of Dirt Tornado. How good would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I think the Brute really needs the healing here. The worst part is, so the Dirt Tornado would actually hit all the enemies, which is pretty good. We'd be getting an attack 2 on 3 targets, so effectively 6 damage. That's a lot. Unfortunately, we would waste a charge of backup ammo. And we'd have to use our boots, although we may have to use our boots next turn no matter what. It is kind of tempting, but ultimately, like I said, we get a lot of damage here, but the Brute's going to end up needing to lose life, or lose cards then if we don't heal him. Especially because he can't go very early next round. Well, I guess he can, he has short rest, huh. This is actually a really tough decision, because the 2 damage from Dirt Tornado should theoretically make it so that then the Fire Orbs will actually kill this regular Archer really early next round. Man, that's a toughie. Normally I'm in favor of dealing damage over healing, but missing out on this heal when the Brute's at 3 life seems so rough. I mean, the Brute can bring himself back up to 6 with his healing potion, and I guess... Alright, I guess the damage is better, just because it's a boss fight and we're on a timer. Basically because... I mean, the Brute should be able to go early next round. As long as we can get Provoking Roar back, we can go earlier than the Archers can go. And then we can use our healing potion. We'll be back up to 6. And at most, there should be 2 Archers and a boss attacking us, although it's very unlikely the boss attacks us, right? The boss is only 1 out of 7 to attack. So theoretically, 2 Archers. Although, again, the regular Archer should probably die between the Cragheart plus the Spellweaver's attacks. So there should really only be, like, maybe one thing which theoretically normally is going to attack the Brute, right? And with 6 health and 1 shield and Iron Helmet, we'll be more than fine, I think. If I thought there were more attacks that be incoming, and there will technically be Muddle as well, if there were more attacks that could be incoming, then obviously it would be a little bit different of a story, but there aren't, so I think this is still fine. Okay. Yeah, this is an aggressive play, without a doubt. So we're going to use Rumbling Advance. Is there any reason to create the Earth? Can we move up far enough? 1, 2... No, we'd have to deal 1 damage to the Brute, which we don't want to do. So we'll just... I mean, the Earth isn't that valuable since the Spellweaver is using Fire Orbs next turn, and we're going to do who knows what. All right, so we're going to use the bottom of Rumbling Advance just as a generic move 2, and we're going to pop our Minor Stamina, our Boots of Striding, so we get move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, the wasted backup ammo charge, it hurts a little bit, but, I mean, it's not doing anything in this situation anyway, and we're still doing 6 damage with 1 turn, which is, I mean, that's good, right, for a non-loss. Yeah. Lord Bulb, you see you. It's nice to see you here. Your name is a name I have recognized on the subreddit for a very, very long time. Yeah, we'll go with that explanation. I was playing permadeath and everyone died. No. So we tried the first scenario on difficulty 3 yesterday, and difficulty plus 3, so difficulty 4 actually, and we lost. It was pretty close, and we got reasonably unlucky. So we tried it again on difficulty 2, and there I think maybe we even got a little bit more unlucky, and we also made a really, really bad decision where we, I forgot, so full disclosure, I'm not very good at playing 3-handed at all, and I forgot that the Mind Thief was at 1 life. I wasn't paying attention to this, and I did a short rest where the Mind Thief would have gone to 7 cards in hand, so I brought back Mind's Weakness to go back to 8 cards because I wasn't really under any pressure. I was just finishing up the last room, or the first room. So the Mind Thief goes up to 8 cards this way. I mean, shuffles 9, pulls 1 out. Surely enough, I pull out the Mind's Weakness on the short rest, which again is only 1 out of 9, although it was still 100% a mistake, obviously. And because I'm at 1 life, I can't reroll, so I lose the Mind's Weakness before the first room is even done. I was still going to keep playing it out, but then after that, there's this enemy who has 2 health left, and I attack him with an attack 2 and flip a null, and because of the null, he then gets to attack the Scoundrel, which leads to the Scoundrel losing 2 cards. The Scoundrel's already lost 1 card, so it's 3 lost cards for the Scoundrel in the first room, plus no more Mind's Weakness. and I was over it at that point. So I put a poll in chat to ask people which they preferred, whether me retrying with that party, whether retrying with party number 2, which is this one, or whether switching to option 2 rather than option 1 of my 3 options which I had originally listed. And the poll decided on just switching to this party. So I switched to this party, did it on difficulty 2, and it was pretty easy. We walked through it without too much difficulty the first scenario then with this party, and so now we're on party 2. Yeah, it was definitely chat's fault. You know what's weird to me though, Lord Bulb, about seeing you on the subreddit these days is that you have the angry face icon, right? As your flare, because you had the brute icon for I mean we notice these things, as mods. I mean, I don't know what Themris notices. Um, he spends more time modding these days than I do, so probably even more. But I mean, you had the brute icon or the brute flare for the longest time, and so every time I saw your name, I would just see that. And now you have the angry face flare, which first of all is a little bit weird to me because it's a different flare, and I just recognize your name in the brute flare. But on top of that, the fact that it's also a blue face flare, and just looks a little bit different than the brute one, it actually really throws me off. Just a small thing. I wonder if you weren't trolling people by switching to that one specifically. I guess it's just the class you're playing now, but. And Terrace chat's fault. Well, Lord Bulb was asking how we came to be playing with this party rather than the party which had a sinker in it, and this is how. Or chat was how. Chat voted for it. That was chat's fault. Okay, so anywho, we're gonna consume this earth, which gives us 1 experience. We also gain 1 more experience because we wasted charge of backup ammo, which sucks, but oh well. Oops, experience there. So this gives us an attack 2, range 2, AoE like this, which models all allies and enemies in the area. So range 2, we just expand our range 2 to like this, then we expand like this, so it easily hits all of them. I'm just going to toss a muddle on all of them right now so they don't forget. And I'll just go left to right, I guess. So 4, and then boss, and then, then 1. No, nothing trolly or memey. Not this time, at least. All right, so 4. Ooh, did we? No, okay, never mind. She hadn't taken damage. And then boss. Would have rather seen the +2 on the boss, but that's okay. So 2 damage there, and then number 1. Okay, so 2 damage there. Oh, nice. Oh, jeez. I guess that's what didn't make sense to me, that you had that other flare for so long, and now it's this one. But I understand. My brute, I had the swamp quest, and I mean, because my very first character was the brute, and I had the swamp quest. I literally set that brute aside at level 9 after I'd played him for level 9 for a while, just without being able to retire him, because we only ever had 2 scenarios unlocked in the swamp. I could never get the third one, and so yeah. And eventually we got it, but I played 2 more characters before I eventually got to go back and retire him. So I understand being stuck on it for a while. Okay. That's it. End of the round. So again, for the Spellweaver, it's pretty clear. We want to go as early as possible to try to make sure. We just don't want any of the enemies moving. I've done something really stupid here. Fair enough. So I meant to go back and correct this once I realized this Cragheart was going to move up here, but I didn't want to because like it doesn't actually matter. But since the Cragheart moved to this spot, all right. So it's actually really bad. Quite not good, in fact. All right, well, let's do the other things first then. So short rest here. Yeah, losing trample is fine. Can we do anything here with these cards? Not much, right? 2-target heal is pretty garbage. Yeah, I think it's better for us to just take a short rest. You should never be afraid to short rest too early, especially on short fights like boss fights. Just having these 2 cards is just not getting us anywhere, so we just need something else. I mean, this is basically, we can do a heal 2 on the Brute, which is okay, but while in the middle of a boss fight, that's just not really an acceptable turn. Alright, losing Dirt Tornado is fine. This is basically the best Dirt Tornado was ever going to be. And obviously we don't want to lose something like Massive Boulder. Speaking of Massive Boulder, so we want to do that. Plus, go as early as possible. Does that mean we have to short? No, we can't even short rest to get back to 20. Alright, so we need to go... God, we're going so late, though. Oh, this is so messed up. That's true. But what I should say is, the more turns you waste, the longer the fight becomes as well, you know? Like, cumulatively. Any turn, if you spend a turn doing something which isn't very effective, then you're actually increasing the length of the fight, not just by missing out on that one action, but by possibly allowing one more room to be opened or one more skeleton to be spawned. There's just no way to make this work, unfortunately. I put myself in a terrible spot. All right, well, unfortunately, we have to use this for initiative then, I guess. I mean, otherwise, we could just try not to use fire orbs. Just use fire orbs to move. It doesn't really work. Yeah. So we're actually just going to have to do this to move, because we have to go after the Cragheart, because the Cragheart blocked the spot. Again, we could have solved this by just correcting this and going here, but I prefer not to have any asterisks, so. Interesting. I have never had him open more than 2 rooms in this scenario. I don't know why I would say that now. It seems like I'm just setting myself up for disaster, but I've literally never once done this scenario with him opening more than 2 rooms. But I've also never done it on +2 with a 3-player party at the beginning of the game, so. I mean, 3-player starting character party is what I mean to say. All right. So that solves that. It's just 36 initiative isn't very good. There's a decent chance the archers go before us, which is something we were really trying to avoid, but honestly, we don't have another way around that at this point. We're also going to have a worse turn next turn. We'll probably have to short rest just to get Flame Strike back, because we really want to put a wound on the boss. Since he has so much health, the wound would be so valuable. All right. So what is the Brute doing then? So this should die. Again, not so early. And this should die as well, because Dirt Tornado is going to hit both of them. So the Brute just needs to hit the boss. Well, in that case, let me tell you about a little something I have planned here, which is called How to Crush a Boss. I mean, there's just no reason not to go for this here, right? Unfortunately, we've got the 3 curses in our deck, so it is what it is, but that's not getting any better. And this is the most damage we can deal to the boss, while also allowing us to put ourselves in a good position, or good-ish position. All right, let's run it. Yep. All right, 68. Not too punished. And special 2. Special 2 is the summoning living bones. Okay, that's okay. That's fortunate for you, Thimris. So the boss goes first. You can summon, I guess we'll do the left side. It's basically exactly equal whether he summons here or here, but here there's one more person on that side, so that's the side that wins the tiebreaker, I suppose. In this 100% scientific method. Okay, so boss is done, loses his muddle. Let's check our battle goals again. Kill 1 or more elites. So we'd like to kill that elite ourselves. Here we have to kill 3 or fewer, and here we've already failed because we didn't. Yeah, okay. Did we kill any bandits in that last room? Man, I am terrible tracking my personal quest. I don't think we did kill any bandits. I think we just failed all our attacks, so we didn't kill. All right, so next up is the Cragheart. So we're going to do a generic move 2. We're going to go 1, 2. Why are we going over here? Well, the boss is eventually going to jump over to these doors, so we'd rather be closer. Okay, so how are we attacking now? So we're always attacking the boss. So basically, I'm saying this because, all right, so we're using Dirt Tornado, or sorry, Massive Boulder. So we create an Earth. We're going to no matter what, get 1 charge, of backup ammo here, which is what I mean, how are we attacking? So that's 1 experience. And so basically we have to choose our 2 targets. 1 target is obviously always going to be the boss here. It's just tough, right? So if we hit the boss plus the skeleton, we'll do 2 splash damage to this archer, which actually kills this archer with just splash damage, which is great because that means the Spellweaver doesn't need to hit it. So we probably have to do like this. The only reason we don't like that is because it would have been nice to hit this elite archer, increasing our chances of killing her. But the Spellweaver has a decent... Actually, Spellweaver should kill her anyway, right? The Spellweaver will be able to make... Yeah, because we've got Crackling Air as well. No, yeah, so the Spellweaver will get the kill. It sucks because we actually won't get our battle goal this way then. We'll have to rely on killing an elite zombie, which is obviously much more difficult, but I still think this is ideal. Because again, just the possibility of getting a direct kill on this archer is too valuable. All right, so our attacks will be on the boss and number 5 in that and the skeleton, in that order. So on the boss first. So 2 to the boss, putting him down to 35. And 1 damage here. I won't do it on the archer because she's going to die here with this attack no matter what. And so then on the skeleton. Jeez. My flips this center, I tell you. Now that one's been reshuffled, right? Man, look at all that red. What is going on here? Alright. Hey Gripe, it's Ahoy matey. I've been scared of your streams because of spoilers, but I read on Reddit that you're starting classes again. I've unlocked Sun, but that's it so far. I hope you're well. Hey Ahoy matey, or Ahoy Ahoy. Just for like old times, right? It's fine, I understand being scared of spoilers, but yeah, you will be spoiler free for a while again, so happy to have you back. And I hope you're enjoying the Sun class. And I am well. Well, I've got a pretty bad throat today, but that's just because of streaming for so long yesterday. But other than that, I'm doing quite well. Thank you. How are you? All right, let's just take a look at this real quick. So we've got 1 negative, 2, 3, 4 negatives, 1 positive, 5, 6, 7 negatives, 2 positives, 7 to 2, and negative to positive. Plus, I guess we drew 1 curse, 1 bless. Although 3 times as many curses as blesses, although drawing the bless was actually bad. Ugh. Yeah, so far it's not been great in flips. All right, but we'll still be all right. So this does an attack 2 here, which is 1 damage, unfortunately, because of his shield. But then we do 1 damage directly to the boss. And this bandit archer is no more. Okay. And so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in our hand. So this means it is again time to use our Hamina potion. Oops. Because we've actually used generic move 2 on the bottom of Unstable Upheaval. So we can again get that back, which puts us up to an even number of cards in our hand, which again nets us another turn, while also giving us our best initiative move 2 back, which is great for the Cragheart. All right, now the Spellweaver's up, so we have to use the bottom of Flame Strike as a generic move 2. I won't have range to hit the bones. Oh, God. God, I really screwed myself by not correcting that thing. I should have just corrected it back before. Jackalit says, hey Gripe, our party was trying to think of another solution to stamina potions being overpowered. We came up with changing the potion to allow ignoring the lost card during a long rest. We also think that the major potion should have the same effect and not being able to do it twice more. Just being able to carry the second stamina. Okay. That's interesting. I think this is a reasonable way, honestly. Like, I'd seen this proposed before as well. I think allowing to ignore losing a card to a long rest is a reasonable way to have stamina potions work as well. And I think this is a very reasonable solution. I think that's a good solution. Hoy says, I'm doing well. I picked up a second job during the week. It's pretty rough working so much, but I'm trying to find a few things, so it's important. It's temporary anyways. Okay. And yes, I also like Robert's suggestion for helping to rebalance the Tinker a little bit, which actually would help to rebalance the Tinker quite a bit. Although, again, how much does it actually rebalance the Tinker when you're using fixed stamina potions? So, I guess that's the question. Yeah, we've really screwed ourselves here. But again, we don't have a choice, because this is what we play. I mean, we've got some margin. We're definitely playing badly, but again, we're playing badly because of a combination of having lost the move 4, which was something I wasn't happy about, and then just not correcting something that we should have corrected, because I was just, I guess you could say, too lazy, which just is a lesson about being lazy. All right, so after the generic move 2 on Flame Strike, we're going to use the top of Fire Orb. So we just gain 2 experience, we create a fire, And so this is going to give us 2 attack 5s. We don't need more than 5 here, so I'm not going to use my power potion. I'll have another opportunity to use the power potion. I prefer to try to use it with 3 targets. If I was hitting this bones, I would actually use the power potion, because then that would be the difference. Here, an attack 5 is going to be enough to kill this one. So why is it a 5? It's because we've got Crackling Air, so we're actually going to use 2 charges of this, which gives us 1 more experience. And a 5 is enough to kill this. Again, with a -1, it won't be, but because we're making an advantage attack, because we're certainly going to use the goggles, we should be able to get 5 here. So I just don't see any reason to use the potion. Party 1 would be great, this scenario. I agree completely. Yeah. Well, you've, I'm sure, seen many times what we've done to boss scenarios with parties involving the Scoundrel and Mind Thief. Literally, we did one-shot a boss once on +2 or I think +3 difficulty. Okay, so we get attack 5s with advantage, targeting the boss and the archer. We'll do it in that order. So boss first. Oof, good thing we did in that order. Jeez. How is this even possible? So 4 damage. That is just crazy. So that puts us up to 9-2 in terms of negative draws to positive draws. Isn't that a bit skewed? And if it was just one scenario, it would be one thing. But man, scenario after scenario, what is up with TTS? It hates me. All right, then the elite archer. Come on. So +0 kills, so we get a crit. Just so we can waste the bless. So, Carlot, I thought about alternating parties, which is an interesting idea because it gives more variety. The problem is items, right? Because, well, at least from what I understood yesterday, I think it was still ambiguous. All right, if someone can answer this for me, if is it that I'm like, because it says items which are unused. So if the items on the other party members who aren't currently being played, these items are still used though, right? So that means I can't use them. So the problem is some items like with 6 characters total, and there's only, I mean, for example, with Hamina potions, maybe, I mean, the boots of striding, there being only 2 of them, stuff like that, it's just too difficult without being able to share items. I think that would be great in Terrace. I would be really interested to see that, especially for TTS. I swear I don't feel like I'm this unlucky when I play in person. I really feel like TTS is just different, but maybe I play a lot more often on TTS, so it's just easier to remember. I don't know. All right. So we're done there. So this is lost. And so next up are the archers, except they have been eliminated, fortunately. Which is good with that +1 attack they were going to do. Just give me 1 second. Sorry, my fiance is doing something which is quite loud. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, so Bruise up. We're going to do a move forward, grab and go. We're going to pop our boots, just add 2 damage here because we certainly should. Ooh, did we actually forget to use our healing potion before? Oopsies. Oh no, it was this turn anyway, but it didn't matter because we were killing all the things. Well, almost not, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our goal again was to kill 3 or less. That's easy, I think. So we're going to use the healing potion now just to be safe because it would be silly to sit around at 3 health, I think. 6 health is much more reasonable. And even the biggest heal we can do is a heal 4, so that still won't be overhealing. So that was kind of what I thought in Terrace, but I still wasn't sure. Does anyone have a definitive thing on that? Or is that what that means? Because it seemed like multiple people in chat were interpreting it different ways, so I didn't want to like decide on it one way. Okay. So we're gonna use Balanced Measure, so we gain 1 experience, and we get an attack 6 on the boss. Please, please, deck, just be gentle. A +0 is fine. Okay. Okay. I mean, I'll take it. I will take it. I mean, it's not a +0, but it's the next best thing, right? So that gives us 8 damage because we moved 6. Oh yeah, and we got this coin. The reason I checked the battle goal again, I just want to make sure it wasn't the loot no items. Let the sub argue it out. That's a good question. You're welcome to make a post to the sub real quick. I'd be really interested to see that discussion. All right, and that's the end of the round. So now we need to uneliminate bones because they will go this turn. So do we need to short rest? Yes. Yes, we do. Oh man, this is such a painful short rest though, right? we need to lose Frost Armor. Is this worth it? So we really want to get Flame Strike back, right? Getting a wound on the boss is so valuable when he has 22 health. The wound will deal, I would say, 3 to 4 damage. So this is something like a non-loss attack 6 or 7. That's great. So good. Especially since the wound damage is unaffected by my flips. The problem with short resting here, though, so I have no problem with short resting early, as I've already demonstrated. The problem with short resting here, though, is that we can't lose this, and then we want to get this back. So if we, all right, let's say we roll Flame Strike. We can't re-roll, so then the short rest did really nothing except getting us 2 cards back, which we don't necessarily need because we still got stuff to do here. If we get this, then we have to re-roll, then we still got, I mean, at that point, well, it's actually a 67% chance of getting this. So it's just having, there's only, I mean, either we get this to start, or we get this and reroll into this. Yeah, the odds just aren't good enough. I think it's better to just give up on the dream of the wound and just use Mana Bolt on the boss. This works pretty well because we can actually get the summon up. I don't mind getting a summon up. We're actually going to have to play Reviving Ether probably in 2 turns, I would say. Sometimes it's better to be a little bit safer and play it a little bit sooner, not wait till the very last second. But even when I play Reviving Ether here, I'll definitely keep the summon up because the summon is so valuable in boss fights. And we've got 2 beefy dudes in front to tank for it, so it's pretty safe. And Mana Bolt, we're already in range here, and this gives us very early, so it doesn't matter that the boss can teleport away, because we'll certainly get an attack off on him before he does anything. So this is actually fine, I think. It's not as great as getting the wound on him, but I just it's too easy that I get punished for that short rest, or that I just get nothing out of it and pay 1 life, or just short rest early and gain nothing. Which is what I mean by getting punished. Okay, so McCragglesworth, what are you up to? So you have an Earth, so that's interesting. If only... Do we have our boots still? We do not. Avalanche is great here, right? Because this would be an attack 5, hitting both the boss and the skeleton. The problem is just the initiative. We can't get there in a reasonable time frame because we need to move at least 3, which basically would mean, I mean, the only thing that can do that is Crater. And I don't mind playing the loss on Crater, but it's just 6175. I think that's maybe still worth it. We can still just do these 2 things this turn. Even just getting an attack 5 from us on the boss is so valuable. Again, just we have so many cards that just blowing cards to do as much damage as we can to the boss is honestly the best thing we can do. Normally I'm much more conservative with losses, but on a boss fight like this, I'm not. I can push him into an obstacle, I guess, with Heaving Swing. The problem is, in that case, if he does teleport to the door, we lose out on the damage almost entirely because we won't be able to push him into an obstacle from there. So yeah, all right, let's just blow it all, right? So let's do this. Plus this. What's actually good is, so we've seen his special 2 here. All right, so what's interesting, to the best of my knowledge, and obviously I don't fight that many bosses, so I don't remember that well, but I believe that the special types group with each other, right? So this means that his early specials are going to be summons, and his late specials are going to be teleports. So basically, we should actually still be able to get him, hitting him with this. Because if he goes early, he's just going to stay where he is and summon, in which case we can still just like pop over to here and hit, the 2 of them. And if he goes late to teleport, we should still go before him, hopefully with 61. So I think this is actually still fine. All right. So what's McBrutiston doing? Well, leaving cleave is quite nice here to hit 2. But if the Cragheart's going to basically just take care of both of them, we don't really need to do that now. So we can maybe save it. Healing ourselves is nice then. We can do that. And then I guess there's also the bottom attack here to do 2 attacks. Problem is, we really want to do an attack 3 on him, but he's adjacent, so we can't do this. So we kind of be one of these. I guess if we're planning on using the top of Leaping Cleave, we can just use the top of Skewer now as just an attack 3, 1 experience, which is just fine. It kind of sucks because it'd actually be good if he summons in the Living Bones, but I don't know. I mean, he's only 1 out of 3 to actually summon another Living Bones, so I don't think it's worth playing around him doing that. I want to play them as one big party with rotating characters. And I want to keep the lineages intact as well. So I mean, basically in my mind there are 3 different people: person 1, person 2, person 3, because that's how you're supposed to do it when you play solo. And so the person who's playing the Brute is also playing the Tinker, you know, the person who's playing the Cragheart is also playing with the Mind Thief here, and the person who's playing the Spellweaver is also playing the Scoundrel. Just to give all the information. Yeah, I think this is fine. We get a little bit of healing, and we give mine one of our best attacks. All right, let's do it. So, yep, special 1, but after 61, and shield and heal. That's a little bit more annoying. It means we won't kill the bones, but it's also not attacking, so it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I would agree with that, Lord Bulber. But yeah, for here, all right. It doesn't really matter which element we consume in the end because the Brute is going to create Earth again. I guess it's technically just better to use the fire because then the Brute has the option not to use the bottom of the eye for an eye. I mean, the Brute's almost certainly using the bottom of the eye for an eye, but still, again, the fire is just going away and not being used by anyone, whereas the Earth does want to be used by the Cragheart. All right, so we're going to consume the fire, which gives us 1 experience. So we're going to do an attack 3, range 3, targeting the boss. No reason to use the power potion. We'll save that for once we reviving after our fire orbs back. Okay. Respectable. 3 damage. Down to 19. And then we're going to bring the summon out. Here. I mean, he's going to be over here anyway. So here is probably just better. I guess the Cragheart's going to... Oh, the Cragheart's going to do damage to the Crater. Okay, so I actually want to put it here. So I guess like here, because then from here it can move to here and attack. All right. So let's do that. So let's get our... Oh, no, not that color. I like this color, actually. It's very Spellweavery. Well, then you'll have to share the items between all 6. Is that actually how it works? And, I mean, I'm curious, do you have a source? Not that I'm doubting you, but I would like to have a definitive answer for this, so I would be curious to have it backed up. I would like to see it backed up. All right, so we're going to gain 2 experience for playing the bottom of 8 from the Aether to summon the Mystic Ally. So it has 2 health, 3 attack, 2 movement, 2 range. It's a really nice summon, actually. Parties share reputation, that's why. And reputation is obviously quite significant. The achievements I couldn't care less about. But the reputation for getting shop discounts is a really big deal. So yeah, we had to summon here because the Cragheart's going to use Crater to move, which is going to deal adjacent damage. Admittedly, dealing 1 damage to the skeleton isn't that big of a deal, or to the summon, because it has 2 life, so 1 life, 2 life, it probably doesn't change anything, but it's still fine here. Here it should still be able to move up and hit the boss no matter what. In the rulebook, multiple parties do share reputation. Is that it? Oh, your source for that is the rulebook. Gotcha. I understand now. I thought you were referring to my previous statement. Do you have a page on the rulebook that I could check that on? Again, I'm only asking so much specifics because people were talking about it quite a lot last night, and no one had a definitive link, so that's why I was curious to see something that I can actually point to. All right, and then Living Bones goes, shields himself up, and heals for 2. Yeah, all that damage we did to him, huh? If only we'd been in range. If only we hadn't messed up so much. Okay, next up is the Brute. So we can't skewer the 2 of them anyway because of how they're positioned. So we'll just, like I said, do a heal 2 on ourselves. So we heal for 2, creating a fresh earth, although that does nothing. And then we're going to gain 1 experience by attacking with Skewer. So an attack 3 on the boss. Alright, another -1. I think we've drawn all of them now. Within any one... okay. Within any one party, the number of items available for purchase is limited by how many okay, yeah, so since they are in the same party. Okay, yeah, that's perfect. That line answers it. Thank you very much, Lord Bulb. Yep, so then again, this does solve the question of switching between the 2 different groups within the party. All right, so we're done there. So next up is the Cragheart. So we need to use the bottom of Crater. All adjacent allies and enemies suffer 1 damage. So we should actually, we can spend the earth for this, or we can spend the earth for this. Here it adds +1 attack, here it adds +1 damage. So this is obviously strictly better than this, because if this misses, well, all right, technically not strictly better, but it actually is here. If this misses, we don't get the damage, whereas this, the direct damage can't miss, and either way, it's just +1. Now, theoretically, a crit or a bless would actually make it better to do it here, and we do have a crit and a bless in our deck. However, wait, do we? Or did we already get rid of we got rid of 1, I think, but I don't remember if we get rid of the bless or the crit from this deck. I think we get rid of the bless, right? but I'm not sure. Anyway, even if let's say we got rid of a curse and we have a bless, we still have 2 curses and a miss versus 1 crit and 1 bless. So in that case, we still have a greater likelihood of missing than critting. So it's still always better than to use the earth here. So we'll consume the earth for the bottom of crater. So in total, we're going to gain 3 experience. 1 from crater by default, 1 for consuming the earth, and then 1 for using avalanche. So I'll just mark up all that experience. So we do a move 4 jump. First, all adjacent allies and enemies suffer 2 damage. No one's adjacent. Then we pop on over to here. This way we don't deal damage to the brute. The downside of this, of course, is we're going to be further away from getting to him once he teleports to over here, but I don't really want to do too direct damage to the brute. And I think I can supplement the movement more easily, especially because we do have, you know, I was going to say ranged attacks. We actually don't really, well, I guess we have this as a ranged attack. Pretty garbage, though, against the boss. But otherwise, we can just do, like, healing or something, or even short rest again just to get back to our massive boulder. Okay, so that's 2 direct damage to both targets here. So the bone's down to 5, and the boss is down to 15. And then we just do an attack 4 on both of them at the top of avalanche. So we'll do the bones and then the boss. So bones first. All right, so it's 5, and then the boss. So that's a 4. Okay, so the 5 on the bones has 2 shield here. So this means he takes 3 damage, and then a 4 on the boss. There's no shield, down to 11. All right, we're working him. He is going to open one room here, though. So then we're done, and these are both lost. So then the boss hops on over to here, pops this open. And what do we have here? We've got 3 regular zombies. Okay, and so these are revealed, so they act immediately. -1 move, huh? So they don't move. Oh, zombies, that's about right. That's the end of the round. I will unfortunately kill him maybe before he reveals the chest. That's what I did last time on my previous campaign when we did the scenario the very first time as well. I also killed him before he revealed the chest, which is a bit unfortunate. But the goal always has to be winning before getting chests, right? We'll see. We'll see how we want to manage this. So it's gonna be short rest here for the Spellweaver. I guess we could just long rest for her. Gets back the goggles, which we'd like to do before we use fire orbs again. But what do we have otherwise? Than just like an attack. Well, I guess we got like an attack 3. It's difficult to do it though because we actually have to move up to here. Yeah, I actually like long resting here. It's also partially because I don't necessarily mind if he opens that door or one more door, because then, like I said, we do have the opportunity to get the chest. But having a sip of water. But with those curses still in my deck, I do really want to have the goggles before the next time I use firearms. I guess I might not even need to use firearms. It's maybe better to try to long rest when there's just the corpses left. And just try to kill him more quickly. All right, yeah, that's probably better. Let's do a short rest here. We can long rest next round. Since we'll get 1 turn here, then we long rest, and then we'll reviving Ether. Yeah, that seems fine. All right. Yeah, it's kind of the attack we want most. I mean, now we'll just do an attack 2. I guess it's an attack 4 because we've got that, so it's still fine. But I'm not convinced by your reputation argument. It doesn't really matter until you get at least 7 or even 11. And if you're just going to play until you retire all 3 starting characters, I don't know you'd hit that. Well, fair enough. The point would be, though, that... So, well, a couple things. First of all, I'm already at +2 reputation, right? So, I mean, getting to +7, it's not unrealistic in the relatively near future. In the last campaign I did, I got to +10 reputation before I even got to my first retirement. So I think I get it pretty quickly usually. I mean, you should consider that I know all the events. I mean, basically all the events. So I know always the correct decision, right? And generally I prioritize gaining reputation over pretty much anything actually. Prosperity early on, maybe higher, but otherwise pretty much always reputation. So I gain reputation quite quickly. That's point 1. Point 2 is, even though like the argument could be that it wouldn't affect either of the starting parties so much. It would affect me after that, right? Because I would basically just lose all the reputation I gained with one of those 2 parties, because I could only follow up one of those parties with afterwards, or I would continue to run 2 parties, which again would then be losing even more reputation in the long run. I mean, this campaign is not just the 2 starting parties. After that, I will play unlockable characters. It's just I'm starting with the 2 starting parties to avoid spoilers for as long as possible. Okay, so what to do? Do we have range on him? No, we have to move no matter what. The summon's gonna move to here. We can move to behind it. Not great to be behind it, but actually if it dies, we're just gonna reviving Ether anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So I mean, it doesn't really change anything. I guess I'd rather lose. Actually, I'd rather lose Mana Bolt because I'd like to play Frost Armor on the turn that I play Reviving Ether, so it goes back to my hand. So this works. So we'll play these 2 cards. All right. Meanwhile, over here, I guess over here, we're going to make this attack on the skeleton, who has 2 life left, so an attack 3 should kill him because he has 1 shield. And then start moving. I guess we can even use this just to get a guaranteed kill. Yeah, that seems fine. This way, even if we get a -1, then when we do our move 2, we can like move to here or something, and then get 1 more damage on the bones, which kills him. As for the brute, oh, we hit prosperity too after this scenario. This scenario gives prosperity. I do remember that. So experience gains here. Yeah, it's silly actually. I've been paying attention to experience, but it just doesn't matter at all because I'm gonna hit level 2 no matter what after I guess if I lose, then it doesn't matter. But I'm not counting on losing. All right, so we basically got 2 attack 3s, so we kind of just want to do these each turn. So it's probably better to just use Spare Dagger here because Leaping Cleave can theoretically have some upside, and we can actually just Spare Dagger the boss from where we are and then move up to him. And accordingly, we'd rather split our good initiative. Since we're doing a better initiative here, it's better to use this, I think, now. Because we're not going to ever use the top of this, so it's basically just a move anyway. A generic move 2 is fine, but I'd rather have this way I can have good initiative, well, goodish. I mean, 27 and 10, rather than if I use this now to move, then I have either 64 or 54 next turn, which is much worse. Yeah, I will be able to start my Thief too. I can't wait. All right. So overall, this looks fine. We have a decent chance. Well, not a decent chance. We've got some chance of killing the boss here. Not that good of one, actually. We have to flip pretty well, which, yeah. So we won't kill the boss, basically. All right, let's do it. Special 1. Ah, another room. Okay, that's fine. That's what I wanted to see the most, probably. Definitely not a summon. That would have been the worst. No, this is also... God, living corpses are so derpy. This way we should be able to get the chest. Okay. So who's up first? Our Spellweaver. And by Spellweaver, I mean the summon. Trusty old summon. He never wants to move, effectively. All right, so we're going to move to... Some moves there. It makes an attack 3 on the boss. Actually, we have a decent chance of killing him. I take that back. Why would I say that right before flipping? I mean, come on. It's okay. Like I said, I don't necessarily mind not killing him, so it doesn't matter so much. Okay. So now we have a move 4 jump and an attack 2 range 3. So I guess we're gonna go like to here. This way we're in range to attack. We have range 2 to attack him if we want to afterwards. Just puts us in a better position to fight them. I guess then there's some corpses coming, but we'll be all right. All right, so we'll just move to here with Reviving Ether, and then we're gonna make an attack 2 range 3, except of course we have Crackling Air. So we get another charge of this. Our third charge, we have only 1 left, so this makes this an attack 4 range 3, targeting the boss. And there's no reason to use the power potion here still. Jeez. Has our deck still not shuffled? Oh god, I can't wait to take a look at this. It's more just a morbid curiosity thing at this point. All right. So yeah, let's see. 4 to 1. Well, here's a little more even, right? 7 to 4. 11 to 6. All right. I mean, it's obviously better than when it was at 7 to 2. 11 to 6 is still slightly under 2 to 1. Yeah, it's much more reasonable. All right, so the Spellweaver's done. So next up is the Brute. So we're going to gain 1 experience and make an attack 3, range 3 on the boss. There we go. Now it is actually 2 to 1. The game didn't like that it was under 2 to 1. So this is 2 damage. This is crazy, right? I mean, the fact that I've flipped 12 negative modifiers, well, not counting the blesses and curses, in 17, 24, is it? Yeah, right? 17, 20, yeah. So half of my flips have been negative modifiers, when in reality, what? I mean, because we haven't flipped, not counting curses and misses, so otherwise it's 6 out of, so half my flips are negative modifiers, even though it's a third of your deck, which is negative. It does want me to loot that chest. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, this is pretty crazy, though. All right, so we got to move 3. I guess we'll just move to here. We want to move away so that he can go there and deal 1 damage without dealing 1 damage to us. And by going to here, we'll be adjacent to where he goes next turn, which gives us more flexibility, I guess. All right. And then the Cragheart goes, gains 1 experience, makes an attack 3, targeting the living bones. All right, well, I guess we won't be killing the living bones this turn. So be it. And then we're going to use the bottom of Rumbling Advance to do a move to going to here, which creates an earth and does all 1 direct damage to this bones, who's now down to 1. Now the bones. Oh, hold on, actually. So we need to. So I guess actually we need to stay here. If we go to here, the bones is going to hit 2 targets. We have to actually stay here. So be it. That sucks. All right, because the bones will attack 2 targets if it can, but it always has to attack its focus. So here, there's no way the bones can move somewhere to attack its focus and hit another target. So we're just saving, what is it, an attack 2 by staying here, which isn't a lot, but honestly, since the boss is going to be here anyway, we don't really need to move this far. We'll be fine. We still have to kill this bones next turn anyway. All right, so then the corpses go, and they suffer 1 damage each. How much health did they actually have to start? 10, so down to 9. Okay, I'm going to do nothing other than that. And then the Living Bones goes and attacks the Cragheart. So an attack 2 on the Cragheart. Well, at least they're flipping similarly right now. I'll take it. I guess it's just this dungeon. It's just a gloomy place, right? So special 1, move to next door, and reveal the room. In this room we have 1 elite corpse, 1 regular corpse. Oops. And the chest. What would you guys do as enhancement to Perverse Edge and Mind Thief for the attack slot? I'm debating between any element or wound. Any element, huh? Interesting. So you already have enhanced the range, right? I would hope. That's such an expensive enhancement, though, to do. I guess maybe you're limited by prosperity on your enhancements? Because the range, because you always want to do that first, so you're adding 75 gold to whatever enhancement you do there. All right, anyway, that's the end of the round. These corpses, oh yeah, they activate. So they actually do take 1 damage. 12 and 9. End the round. So here we're going to do a long rest for the Spellweaver, which should be fine. Our summon. Hold on, what if they move? If they only move 1, it's still fine, right? Because this is 1, 2, 3, 2 movement to there, whereas 2 movement to there, and this is 1, 2, 3 away, whereas this is 1, 2, 3, 4 away. Oh, is the Bones Elite? Is it? I'm so used to playing this in 2-player. Good catch. You're right, it is Elite. My bad. All right, so that attack should have done. I mean, this is the only time that should have affected anything because it's the first time it attacked, but it should have more health, not more shield, and that attack should have done 1 damage to the Cragheart. All right, well, fortunately, we didn't mess anything up that we can't fix here, so we had 3 more health to it as well. All right. Good catch, Lord's Bulb. I've never played this scenario before on 3 players, so I was just used to it always being regular. Lots of 2 players on this scenario. Never 4. No, actually, I've done 4, but 4, I guess it made sense that I would have checked, but 3, I just didn't think to check. Yeah, it is elite. Oh yeah, I just didn't switch it correctly. There we go. All right. Anywho, so do we still long rest here then? So our summon will hit the bandit commander. The risk is that the corpses get +1 move, then it's going to go attack the corpses. And we might not even kill the commander. All right. We've got a short rest. The reason we have to short rest is ultimately just so that our summon goes earlier, not anything for us. Also, it sucks we're going to get back. We didn't get all the charges of Crackling Air, but that's okay. We're going to pull it back no matter what. All right. Yeah, let's just do a short rest to be safe. So what if we don't get the goggles back? It's not the end of the world. This is fine. Yeah, I understand. All right, so we play these 2 cards like this, which gives us better initiative on our summon. It's basically the main reason we did a short rest here. Brute, just going to play the 2 cards, also with better initiative, and hope to make an attack 3 between the 2 attacks. Hopefully we should kill the boss. As for him, can only attack this. Can't quite make it to the boss, right? Guess we might as well do like a heal on ourself maybe, and then just an attack on the skeleton for 3, which probably doesn't kill it still, but that's okay. We'll sit here and tangle with it for a while. All right, take off, Lord Bulb. Thanks for stopping by. No, I don't know why I said take off. All right, take care. That's what I meant to say. And thanks for stopping by. All right. +1 move. All right, it's good that we did. If we had not done special 2, he's summoning. Yeah, that's bad actually. Because we're not going before that. Oh well. Well, this is gonna get a little bit more difficult actually because of all those bad flips. But yeah, it is, well, still kind of good. I'll see if it actually ended up mattering. Anyway, let's just do things in the right order. So first up, Leap and Cleave, gain 1 experience, and make an attack 3 targeting the boss. Maybe we get a crit here? No, too much to ask. Boss is down to 3. Okay, and the boss goes and summons another elite skeleton. Alright, that's a real threat. Okay, then our summon goes, so what is it? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So equal proximity to both of these. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And needs to move here no matter what to attack either of them, right? Yeah, it can move here, but this is disadvantage, so it has to move to here. And the boss has lower initiative than the bones. The bones are at 45, so the boss is 17. So this is good. It still attacks the boss. All right, that's what we wanted. That is good. Okay, so now we make an attack 3 on the boss. Please be kind. Come on! That's all of them, right? What is this? Oh my god, that is so bad. Okay. Boss is down to 1. Alright. Alright. Wanted it to be a challenge. That's fine. That is supposed to be how it works, I think. No, I think it's a curse and then a null. Alright. So we're going to use the bottom of Frost Armor. We're just playing this as a loss so that we get it back into our hand immediately. Here it actually does matter because we're going to keep Aid from the Ether out, which means that otherwise we would go down to 5 cards in our hand. By playing the bottom of Frost Armor, we actually gain a turn back, get an additional turn. So we're going to play the bottom of Frost Armor, which creates an ice. Yeah, we couldn't have tried to make another attack here because we would lose then. We have no more turns otherwise if we don't Reviving Ether here. So that creates an ice. We also create a dark. So Frost Armor becomes active, although it doesn't really matter for very long because, yeah. Then we're going to play Reviving Ether, recovering all our lost cards. So we're going to bring back Crackling Air. I definitely don't want to keep that out with 1 charge. We're going to bring this back. Again, we played this just so that we could recover it. Because we're going to put those both immediately into our lost pile, basically, is how I should phrase this. And then we recover all of these. We're going to keep the summon out because the summon is still valuable, I think. Save the bad deck and redraw. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really bad at drawing cards. There's no doubt about it. I'm glad that you see this trend over multiple days of me playing. But like I said, I don't know. I swear it's just TTS. It must just be Corelord trolling me, I think. Because I'm not this unfortunate normally. All right. So now we have the Cragheart. So now we've got a really interesting choice, right? So we'd like to attack the elite here, but I mean, we need to make sure this boss dies before it does any more damage. I guess theoretically the Spellweaver can go at 7 next round. Yeah, all right. I mean, going at 7, making 2 attacks with like Mana Bolt plus Flame Strike, the boss should die. The boss should die. So yeah, we don't need to do anything crazy because we have the option to just use Earth and Clod here to do an attack 2, targeting the boss, but it's less effective because then so we basically use the bottom here in the end just to get +1 attack. So we do an attack 3, which again, then only a miss doesn't kill, which normally this way the boss will actually die. This just gets us a guarantee kill on the boss, but I don't believe the boss can go before 7 next round, so I think going at 7, we should still always kill the boss with the Spellweaver next round anyway, with him at 1 health and us making attack 2, attack 3, attack 3. So in this case, we just get more value by getting to play the bottom here and the top here. Okay, so we're going to play the top first of Heaving Swing, which is just an attack 3. We're not going to use the push because we don't want to put him any closer. We don't want him going over and making multiple target attacks over there. So we'll just make an attack 3 on this the Elite Living Bones who's adjacent to us. +1, okay. So the 3 becomes a 4. I believe he has 4 life left, unfortunately. Yeah, so that does just 3 damage, putting him down to 1. And then we're going to use the bottom of Earth and Claw to do a heal 2, range 3, and 1, 2, 3. We have range on the Brute, so we might as well use it on him because he's missing 2 health and we're only missing 1. Even though we're about to take hits, I think we'll be alright. We have played a lot of Lost Cards too, so we've got some risk here of actually potentially exhausting. Is that not killing him, summon, combo, etc. Alright. Next up are the Living Bones. So it's just standard turns. This Bones was just summoned, so it does nothing. So this Bones can't attack more than 1 target, so it just makes an attack 3 on the Cragheart. So that's 2 damage. That's fine. There is definitely a haze in this jungle. Everyone is swinging and just making glancing blows all the time. All right, then the corpses go and they have +1 movement. So, oh no, this actually, neither of these can move because they, oh yeah, they do have a space. They can walk around like this. Yep. Yeah, this doesn't get any closer by going there. So these each take 1 damage. At least I appreciate them all damaging themselves. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay. And that's it. So, Brute doesn't need a long rest. Short rest is fine here. I don't really love losing Skewer. Yeah, I don't think I will. I think I can afford 1 life, and I've got cards I'd be happy to lose. AoE's actually going to be quite decent soon here. All right, I mean, that sucks a little bit because Balanced Measure gets worse, but honestly, it's going to be so easy to hit 2 targets pretty frequently at this point with all the melee enemies that I think Skewer will consistently... I mean, Skewer on 2 targets is more likely than really wanting the 1 extra damage on Balanced Measure, I think. Especially since our boots are spent right now. All right, Kraggles can just play his 2 cards. I think those are fine still. Spellweaver, like I said, we know exactly what we're doing. We need to go as early as possible, take care of this boss, and we'll make multiple attacks because we have access to... do we need to move away, though? Because we need to make sure that this is not hitting too many things. This is the Brood who needs to move away? I guess we just have to protect the summon, but the summon's actually in danger over here as well. So does the Brute need to go over to here to protect the summon? Ugh. Summon did put itself in a pretty bad spot. Come on, Summon. This is why I love enhancing +1 range on this, but it's not such a priority. How else can we do this? I mean, we can hope that they don't move, or that they do their move. Yeah, them not moving isn't very likely, I think. They've already gotten the -1 and the non-move. I think they're almost always moving. They can do their move where they don't attack. That's possible. But still... So if the Brute goes to here, but then the summon just gets attacked by this. If the Cragheart goes to, like, here? What if the Cragheart does that? What if the Cragheart moves to here, drawing the focus of both these, although theoretically, hopefully killing this with the generic top action? Then this will have to hit here, then this, I mean, it can still go hit us, but then I guess if we move away, so maybe it's better to move away, but then are we taking risks here of only making 1 attack on him? I guess this is still, I guess the safe play is still to play these 2 cards, all right? And then we'll see. So if the top attack kills, then we don't need to worry about using the bottom attack. But on the small chance that something else goes before the boss, or someone doesn't attack him, and our top attack doesn't kill him somehow, then we still have 1 more attack to kill him, which then allows us, well, not to move away, which means we will get hit by the bones, but it's kind of an unfortunate, but unavoidable. If our attack does kill him, then we can maybe just like move 1 away, and then the Brute can go to here after attacking, or even with the attack. Do we actually want to skewer then, maybe? To prevent our summon from dying, because keeping the summon alive is very valuable. If they end up getting a +1 move, then there's nothing we can really do, but I think this is still just a better plan. So do we want to try to skewer? Yeah, I think using skewer without the wind power up is fine. I don't really need the pierce so much. It's only valuable against the skeletons. One of them should really be dead. But I guess I kind of want to... I mean, at the same time, I don't necessarily want to hit these corpses. I actually need to kill the skeleton first. Skeleton's more dangerous than the corpses are. Oops, I haven't set his health. Oh, wait a second. We can actually solve the skeleton problems regardless by just using Provoking Roar and disarming it. That's silly not to do. And then... So I guess we do need to move over. I guess if we are going to move over, then we could theoretically use Leaping Cleave. We could also use the push, the move push, but actually doesn't do enough because it only pushes one space. Yeah. I mean, we can still just use this, just because we're not using the top of it anytime soon, just as a throwaway move, because we just need to move over there to protect this in case they move. All right, this looks good overall, and we're going very early, so we're quite adaptable. Let's give it a try. +1 move. Ooh, +1 move is bad. That means this will come up and attack. Ugh. All right, we're gonna have some stuff to deal with. Well, Spellweaver's going first, so what is our initiative? So the Living Bones has lower initiative than either of these two, so unfortunately the skeleton, or our summon will attack the Living Bones. So attack 3 on Living Bones. That's all of them. All right, I'll be right back. I have to pee so badly. I'll be back in 1 minute and 23 seconds. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Now it's the null. Next. So that was an attack 2 in the end, so it does 1 damage to his bones. Just so that he can heal up all the damage he takes. Because he'll take 1 from the brute, presumably. All right. So we're gonna begin by consuming the dark. That's cooler. Gain 1 experience. So you do an attack 3, range 3 with the top of Mana Bolt, targeting the bandit commander who has 1 health. Oh my god, a +0. I didn't even know this existed. All right, he's down. All right, so how do we make this work in the end then? Because we still need to plug this hole, stop this. So what if we go here and disarm this? But then this is still a problem. And there's no way the Spellweaver can tank those. The summon's gonna die. It just would have been nice. I mean, if the summon had died before we played Reviving Ether, would be fine, but dying after playing Reviving Ether is so bad. So moving for the Spellweaver doesn't really change anything, does it? Because we probably just don't want to disarm this, I suppose. I mean, I guess disarming the elite zombie has some value. But if we go up to disarm the elite zombie, then this one gets to attack us as well. Otherwise, if we just disarm this and I guess stay here, then only one of these attacks just attacks that. I don't know, who knows? Maybe it misses. Guess we move here. Guess we move there, we can save the summon, right? No, because we have earlier initiative than it. So the only way that the summon can be saved is if someone moves exactly here. This allows one more zombie to attack than would normally get to attack, because right now this one will stop here, and then this one won't have anywhere to go. So someone has to go here. So the things that have to be stopped are this. Someone has to go here. Someone also has to go here, basically, because otherwise this moves up to here and attacks it. And the Cragheart can't make it to either of those spaces, because Cragheart has 2 movement. So I mean, literally the Spellweaver would have to tank one of the spots, but either spot that you have to go tank requires getting hit by 2 zombies, which is just not something a Spellweaver can do. I mean, yeah, their attack 3s, 6 health, 5 health actually. Can't lose cards. All right. Man, it's just we actually have a lot of damage that we still have to do because of how many enemies there's still left. So losing the summon is actually a really big cost because the summon will do a significant amount of damage to these enemies, which is why I'm trying so hard to try to find a way to keep it alive, but I doesn't seem to be anyway. So in that case, we're probably better off just using this because that means that we're probably going to disarm here and just stay where we are in the brute. That way, only the elite comes up and attacks, and the regular doesn't hit anything, and then only one comes up and attacks here. So in that case, we can, like I said, stay where we are. So we'll make an attack 2 using the bottom of Flame Strike, attacking the skeleton. Okay, wow, green. I didn't even know what that color was. So foreign. So 2 damage. Okay. So then we're done. So then the brute goes. So we're gonna make an attack 2 disarm, targeting the elite skeleton number 3. Okay. This is nice. So he's disarmed. I'm believing in the heart of the cards here, Themris. All right. And we have a move, but like I said, we don't actually want to move at all, so we're going to stay where we are. And then the Cragheart goes. I mean, we could heal 2 targets. It should be 3 total healing, but just killing this is so much better. I mean, we have to get a +0 here, but shouldn't we be able to count on that at this point? I guess if there's anything we were going to use, maybe we'd use the bottom unstable off heal. So let's use the top of Nature's Lift as a generic attack 2, targeting the elite skeleton adjacent to us. Oh my god! Alright. Alright, it's okay. Deep breaths. Serenity now. Alright, well, again, we can't move up at all, and I mean, we still don't want to use the bottom of this. I mean, if this was a non-loss, doing 1 damage to them to give them shield 2 would probably be worth it. Well, would be worth it this turn, but as a loss, definitely not. Alright, so the bones go. That's just so bad because now this is going to heal itself. That's why getting the attack 2 is so valuable because I mean, doing 1 damage to it, it dies and then it doesn't heal. Now it's going to be back up to 3 and it gets another attack, etc. Alright, so this one's disarmed, does nothing, but does heal itself for 2. Back up to 7. Man, this scenario is getting tough. It is far from over. And then number 5 heals himself for 2 as well, so back up to 3. And makes an attack 3, right? Yeah, on the Cragheart. Okay, yeah. That's a problem. No, the boss is eliminated. So we just get the living corpse which go now. So again, they have +1 movement, -1 attack. So the elite goes to here and attacks the brute. So attack 4 on the brute. Okay. So get 1 charge of warding strength and take 3. All right, please. Please miss. This would be amazing. This would be a huge swing if this misses. No, +1. All right. Well, summon down. I can delete this actually. And end the round. It's progressing all right. Well, again, we did just get a +0 and a +1, but before that, we had managed to draw, yeah, really, really badly, which led to the boss surviving 1 more turn than it should have, which led to an additional elite living bones, and then we just missed on a curse attack. I mean, we just missed on attack 2, which should have killed this bone. So we've still got some issues here, actually, because now both of these bones are still alive. The corpses are finally getting up on top of us. I guess these actually shouldn't move after. And we don't have the bottom of Avalanche anymore to kind of create the wall, which we normally do, because we kind of blew everything here in the hopes of just ending the scenario quickly. So we've got some problems for sure, but, well, to every problem there's a solution, hopefully. All right, so short rest for the Cragheart, because we're definitely not in long rest territory here. I don't love losing Earth and Cloud because I really want that bottom healing, but I can't reroll at 2 life, I think. And there are just other cards that I have to keep. Yeah, at least the boss is down. This is definitely a positive. Okay, so for the for the brute, probably leaping cleave is good here because we get to hit both of these targets. We need to run away, I think. We all need to be running. It's time to start kiting. So we don't, I guess, balanced measure. Oh, this is such late initiative though. We actually just don't have any other movement. Balanced measure can theoretically be a lot of movement after leap and cleave here, which is the best case. I mean, this should still usually go before the corpses. If they do their move and mobilize, we're going to be such a bad spot. You still have to, yeah, you still have to. Oh, the corpses in these rooms you don't have to kill, but these you have to kill all of them, correct? What I mean by avalanche, you can't block the doors, but you just block like here, so they have to spend a long time running around, and you just sit in this little pocket in the center, popping off range attacks. Okay, so like I said, moving is key here. I guess it's time for Fire Orbs. Fire Orb sets up Frost Armor the next turn. Oh, but such late initiative again. What if we use this to move instead? That's actually probably fine. A move 3 is enough to get back. All right, so let's use Fire Orbs plus Crackling Air. It sucks not to have our Eagle Eye Goggles for the Fire Orbs, but I think it's ultimately necessary to do this. Our goal is just to make ranged attacks or make attacks and then fall back into the centers, because otherwise we're about to get surrounded. The initiative for the Cragheart or for the Brute is a problem, but not a lot we can do about that. All right, is there any way we can kill this one? I guess the Fire Orbs probably should kill it normally. It really should actually. So we don't necessarily need help with that. So maybe just a heal. We need a lot of movement. Well, I guess if we just move 2, it's still fine, because that one should be dead. So do we need to heal ourselves then? Brute also could use some healing, so Nature's Lift could also be okay. Yeah, I mean the poison trap can work here. I think it's all right. You really only need one thing to just block that spot in order to mess with their AI. This is the most valuable use of traps, I would say for sure. All right. Yeah, I think I can get away with healing. I guess I'm gonna play this no matter what, and I'm gonna plan on moving with, I guess, this for early initiative. No, because we need to go after the Spellweaver. So 25, 29 works well. So let's just play, I guess, like this for initiative. I don't want to push things into obstacles anyway, because I want the obstacles to protect me. Anyway, so the reason why, so the Spellweaver here is going to make an attack 3 with Fire Orbs, and we're going to use the Power Potions. That should be an attack 4 on this, so that should kill this. But if we, I mean, I guess, actually, we can't even flip a -1. Yeah, it's literally impossible. So if we get a miss, then it sucks. Then maybe we attack it, but otherwise, we're probably just going to heal ourselves for 4 and move back, which I think is fine. In that case, no, because we want the early initiative to run back. Yep, this looks good. I mean, the Brute's still going to be in the kind of bad spot, but I think this is overall all right. And then once we've drawn ourselves back into a tighter spot here where we can't get surrounded, then we'll worry more about how we're going to kill them effectively. Obviously, we're using Fire Orbs here just because the Spellweaver only has, 2 sets of attacks left. I mean, only 1 non-loss attack left anyway with Frost Armor, so we need to use a loss attack one of these turns anyway, and it's better just to use Fire Orbs because we can use that more easily while moving back, whereas Impaling Eruption, we could, but Fire Orbs, we really want to kill this skeleton. Like, these 2 skeletons are the priorities, and then, I don't know, one of the corpses. Whereas Impaling Eruption, if we want to hit 3 targets, would be like these 3 corpses, which is much less important than killing the skeletons. All right, let's go. Whew. Late initiative on both of them. I mean, after 54, that's a really, really, really big deal. Okay, so first up is the Spellweaver. So we're going to create fire with Fire Orbs. We're going to gain 3 experience, because we're definitely getting 3 targets here. And we're going to pop our Power Potion as well. So this will be an attack 4, range 3, target 3. We're going to attack this bones, and I guess the Elite Corpse just because it does the most damage. And it's almost as low as the rest of them, so it doesn't change so much. But yeah, and it's also going to get hit by the Brute here. It's just, the bones are definitely the most threatening thing. The corpses we can kite much more easily. The bones moves too much and hit almost as hard. I mean, I guess not really almost as hard, but it can hit multiple targets, so really can be quite as threatening. And like I said, a lot more movement. So, attack 4. All right, someone in chat, give me the order. To explain here, anytime I have to pick the order for targeting monsters, I always pick badly, even though it's just a random thing. Because I'm naturally very unlucky, I cannot pick well. So I'm hitting Skeleton 5, Skeleton 3, and Corpse 6, and I would appreciate if someone could choose the order in which I attack them. Always do lowest number to highest. I appreciate your confidence. All right, so 3, then 5, then 6. Let's see how this rule works. I'd really be happy. Ultimately, there's not too much which can really go wrong here. The only thing that absolutely can't happen is a miss on number 5. All right, so 3, then 5, and then 6. That's the order. Okay, so this does 3 damage here because it's in attack 4 and he has 1 shield. And then on number 5, okay, +1. overkill, but again, I don't really care. As long as I kill him, that's all that matters. Oh, no, no coins, they were summoned. And then the Elite Corpse. Okay. Well, your ordering was excellent. Good job. I'm going to stick with your rule, I guess. All right. So our 4 becomes an 8 here, which puts him down to a 3. That is great. Thank you, Ejaculate. Yeah, worked out quite well. I mean, theoretically, the technical best would have been 5, 3, 6, actually, because the +1 would have been here. But again, I mean, I'm not complaining. This is more than good enough. Okay, so Fire Orbs is lost, and then we have just a move 3. I mean, we have no fire to use anyway, and we wouldn't even if we could, to move basically all the way back to here, because the Brute will move back to one of these slots, and then, I mean, Cragheart won't quite get to the other one, but we'll get there eventually. All right, so we're done. So then Cragikins is up. So he's going to do a heal 4 on himself, which creates an Earth. And it's just going to do a generic move 2 with Heaving Swing. Moving to here. Okay, and then the Brute's up. So the Brute's going to gain 1 experience by attacking with Leaping Cleave, targeting both Bones 3 and Corpse 6. So we'll go lowest to highest again, Bones 3 first. We really want to see a +1 here. Yeah, that's not what we want to see. Okay, and then the Corpse. Well, we were never killing the Bones anyway, so it didn't really matter. Ew. Oh, that's actually really bad. Oh, that's so bad. So, oh, that is so bad. So, we just needed to hit for 3 damage total on a 2-target attack 3, right? So that we could move 3. By moving 3, we could get back to here, which would mean the corpses wouldn't hit us. Now we've only got to move 2. All right. So we're going to use the bottom balance measure as a generic move 2, or as a move 2, it doesn't really matter. So we're going to move like this. Because if we go here, this corpse is going to hit us. But by going here, none of the corpses hit us. There's only the bones, which hits us. Which sucks, because we're not getting back into the spot. We're not going to get to cluster up in the center like we wanted to, and only allow 1 enemy to come attack us. But unfortunately, because of these terrible flips, that's how it's got to be. All right. So Living Bones goes now, and it's just going to move to here, make an attack 4 on the Brute. -1, because +1, -1, so 3. We can get 1 charge of Warding Strength, oops. Which gives us 1 experience, and we take 2. Yeah, it's pretty rare to use the bottom balance measure, but we just didn't have anything else that could be a move 3 while letting us, I mean, we weren't going to play a loss for a move. And we just needed at least 3 movement, and we really wanted to use the top of Leaping Cleave, because again, it was going to hit 2 targets here. Which again, mathematically at the beginning of the turn was likely to kill. Well, had some decent chance of killing. Okay, so Living Bones is done, so now the corpses, now I just have standard stuff. Creating the corpse conga line. Okay, and that's the end of the round. So, time to play our cards for the Spellweaver. Top attack using the ice, and bottom probably just a move. So what do we have on the Brute? Oh, we've got a good skewer. So let's do that. And do we want to heal or use Spare Dagger? I guess we want to heal just because it gives us better initiative. This way, because the bones unfortunately have a 20 where they heal themselves, and we just don't want to take the risk that the bones go before us. Because here we'd actually be able to kill that elite living bones before it goes, theoretically, with an attack 3 plus an attack 3, which should do 4 damage since it has 1 shield. And this way it would die. Whereas if we play at the 27, it's a bit riskier because the bones can flip their 20, and then we can get punished. So yep, this looks good. And obviously the healing is welcome. Speaking of healing that's welcome, should we heal now or later? I guess we should heal now, because I think they'll clump more for for Massive, because basically our 2 turns are going to be healing with Nature's Lift plus using Massive Boulder, but next turn it's more likely they're more clump for Massive Boulder than now, so, and also the Brute really might need this healing sooner rather than later, so let's do that now. We'll play this. Early initiative doesn't matter so much. The corpses don't go early in attack really, and even then the Brute still has 4 health and shield, so it would take an attack 6 or an attack 5 to be lethal, which it can happen, but isn't super, well, I guess it can happen actually. But again, I feel pretty confident in being able to go before them. Oh yeah, and there's going to be a heal 2 here as well. And I'd rather make sure that I have the very early initiative next turn, so that if I get a good clumping for Massive Boulder, I can hit the enemies before they move. All right, let's do it. Well, at least they didn't get that last turn. That's really what counts. Okay, so Brute is first. We're going to begin by using Skewer. So we can attack 3, targeting both the Elite Bones and the Elite Corpse. Lowest to highest again, so Elite Bones first. Alright, that's fine. That's all we needed for this attack. So 2 damage. And then on the Corpse. Alright, so the Corpse should be dead. Yes, Corpse is dead. And then we're going to use the bottom of Eye for an Eye to do a heal to self. So we add Earth, and we heal ourselves for 2. Okay, and then we're done. So then next up is the Spellweaver. So we're going to consume the fire, because the Earth will be around for another turn, which gives us 1 experience and allows us to do an attack 3, range 3, and we're going to target the bones, again, because we really, really, really want to kill this stupid thing, because it's definitely the most threatening thing in the room, and normally an attack 3 should kill it. You've got to be kidding me! Oh, Jeebus. This is incredible. So, 1 damage. This is truly incredible. Alright. We have the bottom 4 on Impaling Eruption. We really want to get back to a safe spot because we're going to long rest next turn. The corpse will move up to here, so I guess even further back is probably better. We don't want to go down to here because then the bones will come around and attack us. So we're going to hide as well as we can hide. All right, then the corpses go, so they have +1 movement. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, lower initiative here. Proximity 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, and then so it's 4 movement, 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. 4 movement, 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. Both are equal proximity, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it just goes on initiative, which means down here. So it's gonna be the same thing for him. Well, I guess yeah, this is just the same. Okay, and then the bones goes, since they'll just never die, and makes an attack 3 on just the brute. So it is an attack 3. So 1 more charge of warding strength, and we take 2. All right, and then the Cragheart goes. Oh yeah, sorry, the Cragheart is muddled and immobilized. So I guess we're not going to move. We're just going to use the top of Nature's Lift to do heal 2, range 3, target 2. So we get healed for 2, and the brute gets healed for 2, which is pretty great. And then we could theoretically set up the bottom of Opposing Strike, which might do something, but I don't really want to take that many hits from the corpses. I can't really afford to. And on top of that, just playing a loss is just too costly. I'd rather just have more turns. And we still got to use these backup ammo charges. I guess that's what we're doing next turn. All right. That ends the round. God, the stupid living bones. Your time has come, my friend. Your time has come. So we're going to do these. Oh, we lost these, by the way. See what after. I think the brute can afford to take a long rest, actually. Just gives us a bit more longevity. We'll probably get attacked, I guess, if we do. So maybe it's not worth it. Yeah, I guess there'll be 2 corpses that attack us. Well, it depends how this one moves, but Alright, never mind. No long rest. Short rest it is. Ooh, more than happy losing that. Would have been happy to lose that a long time ago. So I really need to get... Oh, yeah, you're not the one who has to pick up nothing. Yeah. Ooh. Have I gotten any more kills with him? Yeah, I did just get 1. I remember that. We just killed the elite corpse. I think that's it. I don't believe I've killed anything else since then, but I'm really good at forgetting. I need to jump, but I don't have the boots, so I don't move far enough. I don't have any other move jumps. I've just got that, because I need to get past them, because I got to get down to that chest, but I guess it's just not the time to worry about the chest right now. But I guess if we go down there and we disarm one of them, that's actually fine, and then we can maybe make our way down, because we really do need to get that chest. So what if we do something like this? We like jump over here, grab the coin, and then the following turn, well, not the following turn, but soon enough, we can make our way down to the chest, and by disarming this one, we only get attacked by 1 at most, which is not so bad. We can afford 1 attack. Yeah, I like that. I think that's fine. All right, and a long rest here. So, first up is the brute. So we're going to do a move 3 jump, creating a wind. 1, 2, 3, onto the door, grabbing the coin. And then we're going to use the top of Provoking Roar to do an attack 2 disarm. So attack 2 on corpse number 1. Why not? And then we're done. So then it's the Cragheart's turn. So we're going to create a new Earth, and we get attack 3. So, well, first we're going to use 1 charge of backup ammo, which gives us 1 experience. Experience gains have been pretty good. 10, 10, 12. Of course, on a scenario where experience shouldn't matter, assuming we win, which we better win. All right, so we've got attack 3, range 3. All allies and enemies adjacent to the target suffer 1 damage. And we've got 2 targets thanks to backup ammo. So we're going to target number 4 and number 5. We need to target 4 because it does 1 damage to this bones, killing it. And after that, I mean, this one would be disadvantaged. This one we don't have range on, and it would damage here. And so this one, I mean, this does still 1 splash damage while hitting a non-disadvantaged target. This is just strictly better. All right, so we'll do 4 first and then 5 in that order. So attack 3s, so 4. Jeez. 1 damage here. 1 damage here. And finally, you, my friend, are dead. And then we'll do 1 more damage here because we're going to do the splash when we attack number 5. Yeah, reasonable enough. 3 damage down to 4. Yeah, these flips. I mean, don't worry, you'll see a lot more of this if you ever watch me more regularly. And then we're going to use the bottom of Unstable Upheaval as a generic move 2 to just get away from the corpses so they don't hit anyone. And maybe get a little bit closer to healing the Brood just in case, I don't know. Okay, living bones are eliminated. So then we just have the corpses which go. So 1 just loses its disarm. 3, 1, 2, yeah, goes to there. 4 goes to here and attacks. 1, 2, yeah, and then this one's going to move like that. Okay, so 4 attacks the Brute. So these are attack 4, -1, so 3. Get 1 more experience, and get our last charge of Warding Strength, which means 2 damage. That's livable. That is livable. All right. Living corpses are done, and then we get the long rest with the Spellweaver. Covers this, heals 1, and we can choose what to lose. Do you have a good... Oh, we do. We can get a good Impaling Eruption. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now I have too much space in between. This moving there is too annoying. So for now we can't, but we do have elements to spend. So I guess we can try to do Impaling Eruption the turn after. That's fine. So for now we'll just do, I guess, yeah, we don't want Crackling Air. I guess Crackling Air is a move with decent initiative, but nah. Definitely not Crackling Air. All right. So we'll get the rest of these back. So Cragheart wants to do a short rest actually because Unstable Upheaval is great here. I can actually hit everything. Ooh, no. All right. No. So the only thing we really don't want to lose, other than Massive Boulder, which is by far our best card, always the card we don't want to lose, is Unstable Upheaval here. Just because Unstable Upheaval, since we have the Earth, is actually going to allow us to do an attack 3 on everything in the room, which is quite good. But even if we do reroll into Unstable Upheaval, which is the one card we really don't want to lose, we can then just do a 2-target Massive Boulder thanks to backup ammo, which is still pretty good. All right. No, that's fine. Okay. So, Spellweaver friend, what are you doing? Ranged attack plus other attack? Yeah, I mean, we can take a hit, right? What if we have to lose a card? We have only like 1 turn left? But I guess that's fine. We're fine. So do like these 2? I guess better to do this one. The corpses can't go before 20 anyway. Oh, we've got some options here. I guess it's just so much better to move though, isn't it? That's fine. We'll try this. Because with an attack 3 plus an attack 2 plus the attack 3 from the Cragheart, we should actually kill this corpse. Again, this is assuming plus zeros, which hasn't really been the case, but still. So like I said, Unstable Upheaval from here hits all the targets in the room. Is that actually better than just using Massive Boulder, though, is the question. Maybe not. Because the problem is it counts as a ranged attack, so it actually wastes a charge of backup ammo to do nothing. So it would technically be better if we could try to use Massive Boulder first. We could even do like Massive Boulder plus Rumbling Advance. Massive Boulder still hits like here and here. I guess that splashes 1 damage onto the Brute, but that still does a lot of damage all around. Should kill this one and do a bit of damage here and a fair amount of damage here. And then we can even Rumbling Advance to here to do 3 more damage if this one doesn't die, or 2 damage if these two are alive. I guess at the same time the Brute's going to skewer like this, but I guess that's another argument for why it's just not necessary to use Unstable Upheaval, just because it's a loss. So I guess I prefer doing this just because it doesn't involve using any losses, which might be the one way we could actually lose this scenario. Okay, so the Brute, I think we're going to skewer, like we said. I mean, in case that one lives or something like that, we have options. And I guess we're going to try Balance Measure to move again. We really want to move 4 to make it to the chest. Balance Measure is the only thing that can theoretically be a move 4 here. And even if it's not, then a move 2 is still just as good as anything else we can do, because we have nothing else other than move 2s anyway. All right, let's go. +1 attack, -1 move. So not moving at all. Interesting. Okay, so the Spellweaver's up first. So we're going to consume the air, which gives us 1 experience. How did there get air? Oh yeah, last turn with leap. Oh no! Nope, not the air, the earth. I forgot that the Brute can actually use the air. I was like, how do we get air? And then I remember the Leaping Cleave, and I was like, oh wait, there's actually someone else who uses elements in this party. Well, I guess technically everyone can use a bit of elements. All right, because the earth doesn't matter because he's not using earth, he's creating. So we consume the earth, which gives us an attack 3, range 3, targeting corpse number 3. Okay, so 4, not bad. And then we're gonna use the bottom of Flame Strike to do an attack 2, range 2. This is safe since he's not moving in the end. He's not gonna be able to hit us. Okay, so that's 2 damage, so he's down to 2. All good. All right, and then we're done. So then next up is the Cragheart. So we're gonna use Massive Boulder, which creates an earth. So we're gonna do attack 3, range 3. We're gonna target number 5 and number 4 in that, no, lowest highest, 4 and then 5. Because this one will splash to here, and then this one will splash to here, so this way we get splashed both ways, plus an attack 3, plus the 1 splash should theoretically kill this one. Well, I guess, like I said, it does get skewered, but I don't know, the skewer can miss anything like that. And if I hit 1 target with skewer, I hit 1 target with skewer, so be it. I think it's still worth it. And yeah, we're getting 1 splash damage on the Brute, but a Brute's a healthy boy, he's got 4 life, he'll be fine. Anyway, they're not moving, he's moving away, so there's no real risk. Okay, so 4 and then 5 in that order, both of these are attack 3s. So that consumes the last charge from backup ammo, which gives us 1 more experience. So 4 first. Okay. So 4 damage here. It's nice. Down to 2. And that does 1 damage here. And 1 damage here. And the Brute takes 1 damage. And then number 5. Okay, perfectly fine. Wow, reasonable flips? Like, what's going on here? 1 damage here, down to 1. And then, so we can Rumbling Advance. Yeah, it's probably worth it. If we Rumbling Advance to here, we kill this one. This one will get to attack us, but we're at 8 health. Attack 5. Well, attack 5 is kind of risky, I guess, but I think it's just worth it. I don't see this as being too risky, and there's another advantage of killing this immediately. I mean, so by us doing 1 damage here, this allows him to skewer here, which allows us to be more efficient with damage while still killing 1 enemy. And by making sure we kill this here with Rumbling Advance, 2 coins on the ground. Not bad, right? So let's just Rumbling Advance to here. This is a kind of risky play. All right, so ultimately this is not worth it. We're dealing 1 damage to take 5, but because we're pretty close to wrapping up the scenario and we've still got a fair amount of margin, I prefer to make a play like this just to end the scenario more quickly, basically. If there was a large risk of losing still, then I would not. All right, so here we're going to consume the wind, gain 1 experience, and we do an attack 4, pierce, but whatever, on corpse number 1. Okay, nice. So that does 4 damage. Puts him down to 3. Oh, we forgot to do the 1 damage from Rumbling Advance, my bad. Because he was at 8 before. And he took 1 damage from Massive Boulder, which put him down to 7, and then he should have taken 1 from Rumbling Advance. I just got too excited about the one I was killing. Okay, so he's actually at 2. And then we actually have the bottom of Balance Measure as a move 4, because we did 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, F4. Okay, so chest 67. What have we here? Oh, I forgot to check this one actually off. All right. 10 gold, huh? All right. Well, that's fine. It's not super exciting, but certainly better than a random scenario that we're never going to do. So 10 gold immediately to your brute. I know, right? Well, we've lost all our moves already, right? So the top of balance measure doesn't provide us anything. It's just an attack 2 at this point. I mean, technically we had leaping cleave, but here leaping cleave was able to hit 3 targets the last time. 2 targets the last time, so it's still an attack 6. And other than that, we just get move 2s. So we can't get the top of balance measure, so we're actually using the bottom here. I know, it doesn't happen very often, for sure. Okay, so then the 2 corpses go. They have no movement because they're at movement -1, but +1 attack. So corpse number 1 is going to make an attack 5 on the Cragheart. So an attack 10. So in other words, a lost card. Yeah, experience doesn't matter, like I said, because we're going to gain 1 prosperity from this. So that is how the bottom balance measure happens. You lose all your movements and you can no longer use the top. It's pretty much the only way it should happen. All right. Well, picking up some coins seems good. Play these 2 cards. Try to end him. Play the only 2 cards we have on the brute. Actually, yeah. I mean, we should end the scenario this round. So actually, let's do a short rest on the brute actually, because we want to get a larger move loss back, so that we can get coins as well. Not that one. All right. Just targeting my 2 best cards, huh? All right. So big move and big attack, just in case. Better initiative. Spellweaver. 2 cards. Why not? All right. Yeah, move 7s are definitely very possible. I mean, early on I was using it, but it's just while in the middle of this boss fight, I haven't really had the opportunity to long rest. I don't have enough defensive items yet to justify combat long resting. Did the brute just kill something? No. Oh, no, he did damage to something. Yeah, so he didn't. So I don't have enough spent items yet, like the defensive items, the hide armor and a shield and stuff like that, to justify combat long resting. So because I can't combat long rest once I use the boots, if I'm still in combat, like in a boss fight, you're going to be in combat the entire scenario basically once you get into the boss. I don't really get the opportunity to long rest again, so I don't get my boots back, so it makes balance measure a bit worse. And then, like I said, on top of that, my short rest, I lost my move 4 right away, or my second short rest, so first or second. So yeah, it just isn't quite as exciting, but this happens. This is why it's also so nice to get Fatal Advance at level 2, because then you have 2 move 4s, which just makes balance measure so much better, which is why I think Fatal Advance is a very good card for this class. Okay, 21. So first we have the Spellweaver. It would be silly to use a loss. This gains us 1 experience as well. I guess the Earth can gain 1 experience there, but like I said, the experience doesn't actually matter. Anyway, so we're going to consume, just in case, who knows what could happen. We're going to consume the Earth on the top of Mana Bolt to make an attack 3, range 3, targeting corpse number 3. We'll use our goggles to gain advantage, because we should end this round. It tried to get a -1, although the -1 still would have been lethal. All right, and then we just have a move 4, so we can't go any further than this. We'll just grab this coin that he dropped there. Which is still fine, 4 coins. Okay, and then the Cragheart is up next. So he has 2 health left, but we don't want to take any risks, right? So we'll gain 1 experience, and we'll use the top of Unstable Upheaval. Attack 3, target all adjacent enemies as a loss. Oops, as a loss. So attack 3, +1. I was just thinking about something. That sucks, actually. The Brute was the one who killed the Elite. So no one gained their battle goal here, huh? Oh, no, the Brute did. Yeah, the Brute only killed 2. Even if I missed 1, I'm sure I didn't go to 4. So the Brute got the battle goal. But yeah, we didn't get to kill 1 more Elites. The Elite Archer was killed by the Scoundrel. And by Scoundrel, I guess I can't say that Scoundrel, by the Spellweaver. And the Brute killed the Elite Zombie. Ugh. XP doesn't matter because we've gained a lot of prosperity early on in our repeated attempts at beating Scenario 1. We're 1 prosperity away from Prosperity 2. And I know that this scenario gives 1 prosperity. So since I'll gain 1 prosperity, I will get to prosperity 2, which means I can level up to 2 immediately, so experience doesn't matter. Okay, so then we just have a generic move 2 on the bottom of Nature's Lift. who wants the coins more? Yeah, the Cragheart cares, I think, the least in this party about coins, although that's kind of contrary to his personal goal. I mean, his personal quest, but still. So we'll just do a move 2 and go to that coin, because the Cragheart can grab, or the Brute can grab the other. All right, living corpses are all eliminated. So the Brute gains 1 experience, doing a move 6, loss, and goes to the stack of 2 coins there. Yeah. Well, that may be surprising, but there's a reason for it. So yesterday, we did scenario 1 3 times in the end, except we started by doing it with our other party, which was this one up here. So originally we started on +3 difficulty, so difficulty 4, starting at level 1, and we got honestly pretty close to beating it, but we got pretty unlucky, and so we lost. I think we could have beat it if we'd gotten, I think just with the average luck, we probably would have done it. With good luck, certainly. And so then we tried again with that same party, except, oh yeah, we got a bit unlucky again, and we made a really, really big mistake this time. And so because of that, we lost again. Well, or we gave up after the first room when it was pretty clear we were going to lose, because Scoundrel had already lost 3 cards, and the Mind Thief no longer had the Mind's weakness, and everyone was at 1 health. So, so obviously, like, we did a City and Road event, and then City and Road event again, because we went back to Gloomhaven, because we were able to do a little shopping. And then after that, when we created this new party, after failing a scenario again, we got to do City and Road event again. And we got some pretty, I mean, so first of all, you should consider that I do know basically, I mean, certainly all the early City and Road events. Well, actually, there was one I think that I had to reread there. So I know the right choices, usually. And we got kind of lucky with the ones we've gotten. So we've just gained prosperity pretty quickly early on. Yet we've only, I mean, this will only be the second scenario we've beat. And because we just switched this party and then only played the first scenario once with them, we've only beat 1 scenario. So no one's actually gained that much experience yet. And in 2 successful scenario completions, it's unlikely to get above 45 experience. Even getting a reasonable amount. I mean, we'll see, but I don't think we'll be above it. Maybe 13, 14, 12, but still not quite enough. Okay, and then that's the end of the scenario. Ah, we did it. All right, let's put all our stuff here. Stuff there. Stuff there. Let's filter all the bad stuff out of our decks. So we had 3 blesses. We drew 2 of them, yet in both cases, when we drew the bless, it did not, I mean, it killed something that would have died to, I think, a -1 or even a +0 or even maybe a -1. All right. Yet we managed to draw 5 of the 8 curses, or 5 of the 9 curses, and 2 of the 3 blesses. I mean, the drawing ratio is pretty reasonable. Yeah, there you go. Now it does make sense. Our turbulent journey that has brought us to this rather weird point of beating 2 scenarios and leveling up from prosperity before we've ever leveled up with experience. Something which, for the record, has never ever happened to me before. So there's first time for everything, right? That's exciting. All right, so what is our reward? Unlocking some new locations, 10 gold each, all right, and +1 prosperity. So let's get that prosperity. Let's unlock those new locations real quick. Oops, that's not what I want. This is what I want. So completed you. So we need 3 and 4. Why is there not? What is it? So, all right, let's just use the names. Nice TTS mod, Inox encampment, and it's Grip something. Grip for the dam. There we go. So Inox encampment, you're over here. Yep. And Grip the dam, you are there. Okay, 10 gold each. Not too snazzy, or not too shabby. Sorry. Pretty snazzy. Oh, we did buy the helmet. Oh no, we gained 10 gold during the scenario. I was like, shouldn't we? Yeah. All right. So Brute was the only one to gain a check mark. Not doing great on our battle goals early on. No doubt about that. All right. So it was 3, which means 2, but gold is still worth 3 here. So we've got 12 gold for the brute. Not bad. Not bad at all. We can have it all now. We've got 6 gold Cragheart, which is fine. And we've got 12 gold for the Spellweaver. Still just a little bit away from the piercing bow that we really want. All right. So reset our health. So let's look at the person who had the highest experience total over the 2 scenarios. So that would be the Spellweaver. 14 experience here, plus 19 there. So I'll just make sure that that doesn't get us there. So on 2 we have 8. So 8 plus 14 is 22. 22 plus 19 is 43. So even then we don't make it to 45. So no one will make it to 45 or to above 45. So we can just go directly up to 45 with everyone because that is what we're going to get. All right, and now we get to do a little bit of leveling up, which is exciting. It's always nicer to get to level 2. Yeah, 45. I think before we do, can you lose experience for? I don't think you can. No, that would be too weird. I guess we'll do the city event first because we also want to do some shopping. The city event can further inform our decisions about shopping and things like this. So let's just do our city event real quick. We'll wait to do our road event. All right, what is this? Oh, okay, I know this one. Ooh, wow, I didn't realize that was that good. That's great, actually. I mean, I knew this was a positive outcome, but all right. So we gained 2 reputation, which is sort of exactly what we were looking for, in fact. We just wanted to get at least 1 reputation, and 2 is good. Now we got a -1 discount, which is a small thing, but it matters. It matters. Okay, so let's do some leveling. Go with the Spellweaver first. All right. So for perks, first choice is always going to be to remove negatives and replace with positives. So let's go with that. Replace 1 -1 with 1 +1. Pretty much the standard for any deck. Definitely removing -2. 2 -1s is better than removing 1 -1 replacing with a +1. But I mean, this is still the best we can do. So our order will always be this first, and then we'll worry about what comes next. All right, so get rid of the -1, which goes down here, and put in a +1. All right, well, shuffle. And then for leveling up, so we get our 2 choices for level 2 cards. While Random Actuary makes a reasonable argument for Icy Blast not being a terrible card, I guess it's not terrible. The biggest thing is that it creates ice for you, so you can actually use Cold Fire a little bit better earlier on. I much prefer having another loss or non-loss attack, especially when playing with the Cragheart, right? The Cragheart can set up situations where you're so safe, so you're not really pressed to play losses to get a power spike. You'd rather just like sit behind the obstacle wall and just keep making attack 3, attack 3, attack 3, while the enemies barely do anything. So in this party especially, but in general, I think Flashing Burst is just a better card. Helps with your initiative by giving you a 26 initiative, gives you a move 4, which is nice, and attack 3, range 3, and the light works well with the level 6 card, and it just works well early on with Mana Bolt and Frost Armor. So overall, I think just Flashing Burst is a really great card. I mean, a really nice card. And Icy Burst is double loss with, a bad bottom and an okay middle. I mean, no, sorry, okay top, but yeah, not as good in my opinion. Despite the fact that it does allow you to do 1 good Cold Fire turn. As soon as you get level 3, you can start using Cold Fire. It's still more medium. All right, so we need to cut a card. And it's going to be pretty easy, so never reviving Ether. Definitely not Aid from the Ether. Aid from the Ether is going to be really good with this party. Both the healing for our tanky allies, but also just the summon, which can easily attack behind them. Fire Orbs is amazing. Flame Strike is good. Frost Armor is so-so. Impaling Eruption is fine just as a move 4. And Mana Bolt is really good. So it really comes down to Frost Armor or Crackling Air. Even though we have the win for Crackling Air, I mean, maybe for a boss fight or something like that, we'd bring it back if we can hope to do setup before the boss. But otherwise, it's really not that good of a card. And I prefer to have Frost Armor, especially now that we can create light on the top here. This makes it easier for Frost Armor also to be an attack 3. And the 20 initiative is also very nice because it allows us to go after the Cragheart when the Cragheart goes at 13, and then we can go at 20 afterwards and use the earth that the Cragheart creates. So this way we have 2 any element consumers, and we've got the Cragheart can produce 1, and then we can produce the other now with Flashing Burst. So yeah, I mean, I wanted another non-loss attack, and so I don't want to replace a non-loss attack with one, just to have a situationally powerful loss. So yeah, I think this is a pretty easy choice. And again, Ride the Wind is a sideboard card, which we'll bring in for some scenarios. So we'll keep that on top there. All right. We can clear our experience. I guess we can clear all the experiences before we forget. So next up is Cragheart. Well, pretty much the same story here, replacing -1s with +1s. Can't do anything better than that. Ignoring negative item effects, armor is okay, especially in this party, but it's definitely not as good as just for now getting rid of -1s with +1s. We're not that pressed to wear armor. We've got other items we can buy. All right, so let's just get a -1 out. And I'd rather have a significant positive impact on my modifier deck. -1 out. Just in here. And a +1 in. Okay. All right, we got a level. All right, so leveling for the Cragheart is actually more interesting, I would say, than the Spellweaver is. So we have two choices here. So I've written the Cragheart guide for 2 players, and I've got all the pictures and everything taken for 4 players. So I'll have it released probably within a week. Finally. So I don't have one for 3 players, but I consider 3 players. I mean, I wasn't going to make 3 guides. I think making 1 for 2 and 1 for 4 is fine because 2 and 4 are so different. But 3 is kind of between both of them, so you can kind of hedge. I think both these cards are actually quite decent, right? Explosive Punch, the top is pretty bad, honestly. It's all right at level 2 because it can hit a few enemies, or even at level 4 it can still be okay because then you have Rock Slide to set it up more easily. But overall, it's just not very good. It's not that you want to use it very often, but that's fine because a move 4 with 28 initiative is really, really nice for the Cragheart. It helps a lot with what Cragheart has problems with. At the same time, Sentient Growth is also a really nice card. Sentient Growth is not good in 2 players. It's just very, very rare that you can actually get enough targets. But both the bottom and the top do just a lot of little things which help. I mean, this is great for removing poison and wound. The attack is kind of pointless, but I don't know, it can draw out curses and things like that. And the top, especially with someone like the Brute in the party, can be really good. It's many times, I mean, Sentient Growth and Leaping Cleave play very well together, right? Because Leaping Cleave sets up a situation where one of these is the Brute and the other 2 are enemies. And then this also gives us payoff for that by allowing us to do more damage and then healing to the Brute. I think this is a really difficult decision. In the end, ultimately, no matter which one I take, I think I'm always taking the other one at level 3. I think Clear the Way is just not a good card. I recommend it in the 4-player guide, although I actually am kind of even second guessing that because with more experience with this card, the more experience I get with this card, the more I'm disappointed with it. And Blunt Force is actually fine, but I think I prefer Explosive Punch, at least early on while you still have movement issues. Later on, Blunt Force is actually better than Explosive Punch because you get a move 4 jump, and move 3/move 6 with Cataclysm. So I think this is a pretty difficult choice. Honestly, I think a justification could be made either way, but I think I am going to take Sentient Growth. I think the value with the Brute is just too high. I also think Blunt Force is good, actually. In my defense, all right, so in the 2-player guide, this is what I recommend doing, actually. In the 2-player guide, I would always recommend Explosive Punch into Blunt Force. So I've talked about this before. This is actually tough, though, because that's a good point. Well, I'll get to that point in a second. But basically, I explained all this to Themris while we were playing, but Blunt Force is actually a really fine card because you can just ignore the Retaliate, right? And so it's just a move to 1 experience with 21 initiative, and that's really nice for the Cragheart. That actually helps a lot. And then on top of that, being able to be an attack 8 loss on boss fights or fights where you have to like destroy an obstacle to win or destroy a super elite enemy or something like that is also really good. So like the Cragheart struggles to do single target burst, which is actually something our party kind of in general struggles with a bit. So Blunt Force is actually quite decent for our party as well. And the bottom is just a really fine action. So honestly, yeah, that's a fair point. Blunt Force could be a consideration. I think the only card out of these 4 that I really have been genuinely unimpressed with is honestly Clear the Way. I think it actually is maybe just the worst of these 4 cards, interestingly enough. So what's interesting then is if I am going to take this at level 3 then instead of taking this, because yeah, I really do kind of want both of these things. Then do I just lack movement too much if I take Sentient Growth? I think Sentient Growth has just got to be too good when playing with the Brute though to pass it up. I've tried Sentient Growth in 2-player and I really didn't like it, but in 4-player I was very happy with it. All right, well, I think I'm going to stick with Sentient Growth. I think I probably actually may end up taking Blunt Force rather than Explosive Punch. I mean, Blunt Force is better initiative and consistent experience with a better top loss. It just gives 2 less movement, though, is the issue, and has slightly worse initiative. I mean, sorry, yeah, it gives 2 less movement. Yeah, that was better initiative, but yeah. All right. So what are we cutting? Well, we don't need Nature's Lift so much anymore, but we've been pretty happy with it. In 3-player, I think it's fine. We'll put this as like a maybe. Rumbling Advance, never. These 2 cards, never. This, never. This is a maybe. Nah, we need the movement, no matter what. This is a maybe. This gets better once we have Rock Slide, but for now it's pretty meh. Oh no, it's gonna be Avalanche. Who am I kidding? Well, it depends on the scenario, actually, but yeah, Earthing Cloud is great because the bottom heal. Avalanche is, yeah, it's almost certainly the card we're taking out. Crater is just an attack through range 3. Drift Tornado is movement and a decent top attack. Yeah. So it's actually gonna be Avalanche. We'll bring Avalanche in for some scenarios, but Avalanche is not a very good card overall. The late initiative. So the Brute has this problem, or sorry, the Cragheart has this problem where he has no top range attacks with low initiative, right? So you can't ever play the bottom of Avalanche to make obstacles and then still do an effective top, while getting the obstacles in early enough, which is just what makes Avalanche so awkward. So yeah, some scenarios where we can like set up in a room facing enemies and they're mostly melee, I'll consider bringing this. So it's a sideboard card that's worth considering, but yeah, I actually prefer to just cut that over any of these other cards, which are still a bit better, I think. All right, so Craggy is done. Again, the more interesting choice, I would say. Yeah, I don't consider this close. I think people vastly overrate Juggernaut. I mean, it's all right for the tanking build, but I don't even think that's a very good build. Even though I have written it myself, I still don't think it's the best. I mean, yeah. All right, I'll put it this way. I think people who want to play the Brute as a true tank, like to be like an MMO tank, right? They don't understand that the Brute just isn't that good at it. I already wrote a bit of a speech on this just yesterday, but basically the Brute lacks consistent mitigation on a level to compete with challenging enemy damage, with consistent enemy damage at a challenging difficulty. So this is why I don't think the Brute really can truly ever make it like a true tank. I think he's like an off tank is a good way of putting it, who does like, good damage. I think the Brute's strength is that he can tank some damage or some attacks while still dealing decent damage. Anyway, so I think people overrate this bottom. Yeah, it's obviously quite good, and on some bosses it can just win the scenario, but I think it's highly situational, and I think the top just isn't very good at all. Move to attack 2 is just not what you want to be doing for tops. Yeah, it can set up something like Spare Dagger, but then it's just like doing 2 attack 2s, which feels so bad, at least until you get a much better modifier deck. Fatal Advance just helps so much. I mean, again, you can almost disregard the top, although I think the fact that the top is the perfect sort of top, right? It's something which can be very powerful in some last rooms, but before that, it doesn't matter. And the entire time is just another move 4, which allows you to use balance measure so much more easily. Right now, we get so handicapped every time we lose our move 4 early on. This doubles the number of move 4s we have, which is a really big deal. All right, so that's easy there. And as for perks, well, it's always ignore negative item effects and add 1+1. Let's get that +1 in. And then I'll definitely remove 2 minus 1s. Oops, what just happened there? All right. Those are shuffled. And well, we'll do shopping in a second. So we gotta put this in. I think it's actually hard. Eye for Knife been relatively decent in this party. This is way too good. 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 Yeah, this is fine for now, I think. Yeah, actually, that's probably better to cut. This is fine. This is fine. Yeah. Yeah, as crazy as this is, I think I'm actually happier with Eye for an Eye in this specific party. Like, in general, I think Eye for an Eye is not very good. But in this specific party, I think I'm actually happier with it than I am with Sweeping Blow, which is just a card that I never really want to use. It's basically just the move 3, push 1, but push 1 isn't so useful, and we've got Warding Strength for when we really want push. All right. I am buying Hide Armor right now. I just got the level. Would I buy Hide Armor before having the perk? No, typically not. I prefer to have the perk. I think the 2 minus 1s is more costly than the extra shield that you'll get per scenario. Yeah, I just got the perk. Just now, I just got it. So now I am going to buy it. Definitely. That's why I took this perk first, because absolutely I want to get the Hide Armor as soon as I can, but I don't think it's worth buying without the perk. Okay, so now we're going to do some shopping. So we can do the Brute shopping first. We have -1 discount. So like I said, with Hide Armor comes a Heater Shield, which is just fine. It's not super exciting as a weapon, but it's... Oh no, we have Prosperity 2 items. All right, so what I've got to do now, actually... All right, So I'm gonna cut the recording here. Oh, hold on. To you specifically, it doesn't matter. You might once anyway. You might actually have time for that. No, that's fair. That's fair. All right. So for anyone who's watching this in the VOD, on the stream you won't notice, but I'm actually just gonna cut the recording and then restart it real quick. This will allow me to separate the first video here, which will just be at Prosperity 1, and then the second video, which will be at Prosperity 2. So just 1 second. Well, or I mean, for those on the stream, again, you won't notice. If you're watching the VOD and you want to continue on to Prosperity 2, be my guest. That'll be the next video.